All right. I think this is session 32 now. Who wants to give a recap of session 31?
We met with
Oh boy.
Laskavordiaks. Uh, we were sent like an invitation that was like coded. There was a code in it for her to meet us. He was not happy that we killed
The artificer.
the
The artificer.
artificer. Yeah.
Elzen. We killed the artificer. Remember that, guys? When we killed the
When
artificer?
we killed the artificer. Yeah. Privatize the
Ah,
gains,
I'm a party
socialize the
too, not
losses.
the party.
Um,
Right. I mean, there were a few things. You tried to go meet Sabius Vereen at the King of Fire, but he is not in Sharn at the moment. So you weren't able to find him. You left him a message. Peeble went out to find Roan and
Oh
wound
yeah,
up
that's
running
right.
into a
A
changeling
changeling
girl.
and I attacked the watch, got away in
Right.
epic fashion. Managed to do that without killing anybody, so far as I know.
So far as you know, everybody lived, which would be the epitaph on Peeble's tombstone.
Also, the changeling didn't believe that I was the actual Pebble, which was
Right.
awesome.
Right. Peeble apparently now has a literal get out of jail free card because he can always just say it wasn't me. Then you got the two messages, one for Peeble saying that the meeting with Peeble, the other Pengal in the city, is being arranged, and then one that was disguised under an illusion that was an invitation to meet with Laskavordiaks. So you went and cased the location where Laskavordiaks wanted to meet, which was just an alley in Kalistan in the lower Dura. You met with Laskavordiaks there. Like Dustin said, he was not happy that the artificer was killed. He got the information from you about the correspondence and then probed Elzin's mind just to make sure nothing was being left out. Went a little deeper into his probe than Elzin thought was warranted, but he thought it was all sort of related to his surveillance of Heloise Troon. So they disagreed about whether or not he went too far. Uh, oh, I also forgot. Peeble went wandering off and wound up in the Fallen, where
Hmm.
he was mugged by a
No, he just
bunch,
had lots of hugs.
lots of
Lots of people
hugs,
wanted hugs.
he was
during
hug
which,
mugged.
yeah, during those hugs, however, many people's hands found their way into his pockets. And then a priest of the Silver Flame who was working in a cathedral there came out and pulled him away from the crowd. So that is where you went to collect him. He and the priest sort of bonded over the fact that there are some similarities between what's going on with the Pengals in the north and the Silver Flame story about the binding of Bel Shalor, and how Tira Moran had to sacrifice herself to make that happen. But then you went to case the place and meet with Laskavordiaks. After Laskavordiaks left, something invisible in the alley became apparent to Elzin, who lashed out at it. There was then a little bit of a fight, and eventually you drove them off. But at the last minute, Elzin was attacked with some sort of mental attack, and you don't necessarily know what happened. But that's where we ended it on Elzin failing his wisdom save. So
Right.
you are still in the alley. It's like 2 in the morning, and Elzin looks woozy on his feet.
Hey, you
Anybody,
okay? You don't look real good.
anybody get the license plate of that truck?
Uh, When did Pebble, are you okay? You have two mouths.
I do?
And you,
Oh, that'd be so cool. I have two places to eat then. And two places to talk. That would be so great, but I think I only got one. I can only feel one. Yeah, there's only
Alzin
one.
like reaches out to Pebble's chest in like two spots to see if they bite.
Ah, do you want a hug? Here.
Pebble goes to hug
No,
Elsa.
no, no, don't.
I mean, Elzin, you can feel the mouths. They're not biting, but you can feel them.
So they are real.
There's
Uh, Pebble.
Hey.
Um,
so you get
Technically,
hit in the head.
technically, you see three mouths because he's got a beak and two mouths.
and he turns to Thaldarin. Thaldarin, he reaches out to your chest and feels mouths.
How do you? Can you reach up that high? I don't know how tall you are.
Thaldarin,
Oh.
can you give me a boost?
Wait, wouldn't that be the only then Elzin is getting a peek behind the curtain. Nobody's seen Baldorin's mouth.
No,
think
you can
it's
see
just
my
the
mouth. You
eyes.
just don't see
Yeah.
my hat. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
You
knew
can
there
see
was
the
some
mouth.
part of you that
yeah. The
Never
eyes
seen.
are always obscured.
I
Speaking of anime,
I I need to sleep. I think I'm seeing things that cannot be real,
buy
but yet
some
they are.
drugs. Take
It
some
does not
drugs while you're
feel
out
like
there.
drugs. No, whatever those creatures were, it is their doing. I do not know what they are, but it does not change the fact that each of you have two mouths in your torsos.
Well, we don't. You just think we do.
But I can touch them.
Then you're really fucked up. Maybe we don't move. Maybe we wait till you're better.
But maybe they're there. And Elsie can only see them for some reason. Maybe he's actually awake.
I
He's
I
what?
need to
dreaming?
sleep.
Am I dreaming? Are you dreaming?
How would you know?
He's like looking around. Elzin's
Oh my
kind of looking
gosh!
around.
How would you know? How would they know if you're dreaming? I don't
You
know.
normally you would wake up.
I
Would-
wish I
what-
could. I
would
wish.
we? What if we're
Yeah.
stuck? What if you can't wake up?
Maybe this is a bad dream. I
Well, listen, we
feel
can't all
sleep
be going
deprived.
crazy right now. All right, Lee, you all right?
I'm fine. I'm staying up here.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Keep eyes in the sky. I'm just gonna keep an eye on Elzany.
We need to
I
make
mean-
it back to the Watchman's Rest. I
You
need
all
to.
watch as Elzin occasionally, like, even though he's standing up, his head will like nod over as he starts to fall asleep.
I'm just gonna slap him. Hey,
Ow! What? I'm awake.
are you?
No, maybe.
Do you still see the mouths?
Do I still see them?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, I do. They have very strange tongues.
You know what? Why don't you go back to sleep?
I cannot go. I cannot do this. Felderin, will you keep this safe for me? And he like takes off his his locket and hands it to you.
I'll just. All right. And I like. What are you wearing?
Well,
What
with
are you
that,
wearing?
he's gonna out. Elzen's gonna just like disappear.
Oh, you're going into the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was gonna pick him up. Well, all right. Tucked safely in breast pocket.
Now I'm
So
in my. I'm in my bachelor pad,
yes,
my bachelor bungalow. Do I see things? Uh,
you still sense the same feeling, but you're not seeing anything.
this is what they call a safe space. It is a safe for the present. So
Can you
yeah,
speak
like
out of
in
it?
that Alzen would I don't think he can speak out. He can hear.
Yeah, I know you can hear. I couldn't remember if you could speak out.
Uh I guess we could through the crystals we might be able to
So
communicate.
I would
What's
say
with transplanar?
no, because yeah, I think this counts as you being in a different plane.
Okay.
Hmm.
So yeah, then you hear nothing. And
Yeah,
Alzen is
we can
gonna
always talk to you. That's the important part. We
fall
can say,
asleep.
"Hey, man, get out of
Right.
here."
Right. Without you like having other people around you to keep you awake, you definitely are going to fall asleep. But roll a D100.
All right. 15.
Let me send you a message. So as you're walking, everybody make me a perception check. Everybody except Elzen.
I see. Perception, you say?
Lee, you're the first to notice as you're sort of walking. It's true. Where are you going?
Um,
Back to the inn, or
I suppose that's the goal right now. We got no reason to stay out, right?
it's okay. Just didn't want to presume.
Yeah.
So as you're walking back to the inn, Lee, you're the first to notice, and then Thaldarin, you also notice, and Pebble fittingly doesn't notice. You don't see any doors. Like you definitely are used to passing a lot of doorways as you walk along the pathways in between the towers. But you're not seeing any doors on any of the towers. You're seeing spaces where there should be doors, but there don't seem to be any there.
Hey, Lee. You see the doors?
Look who it is.
Long time ago before they were big. No, I don't see any doors.
Took me a minute to figure out what that was in reference to.
I was on it. I was there with you. um, let's make it back. Let's just get all the way back first before we go banging on doors that we can't see.
Okay.
So yeah, it takes you about the same amount of time to get back. The streets don't seem to have changed.
Are there
But when
people
you
around?
get back, I mean, not many. There are a couple of people around.
Okay, just curious.
But
You know
when
what?
you when
I'll
you get
stop
back to
one.
the
I'll stop one.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, and I'll just like point to where I believe there should be a door, and I'm like, do you see a door there?
No, where'd the door go?
Like, check his look down, make sure he doesn't have any like pectoral fucking mouths.
You don't see any mouths in his torso.
Got it. I just stand up. All right, come on. And I just keep moving. back to the inn.
Yeah, he like wanders over and begins feeling at the space where, I mean, it's a door-shaped space, but it
Hmm.
appears to otherwise just be made of the same material as the wall filled in.
Is like the door frame there too?
Yeah, the frame's there.
Okay.
After it takes you about half an hour to get back up into Overlook, by the time you get there, you begin to, you still see occasional doorways that appear to be almost like they're walled off or sealed. You do start to see doors again. But somebody roll me any die you like. Let's go with a D12.
Give the D12
You-
some luck.
Yep. Higher is better. When you get back to the Watchman's Rest, you find there is no door on the front of it.
Is there a window?
There is a window.
Is it filled in?
Nope, it appears to be a normal window.
Was
So
there a
the
window to
interior-
our room?
There is, but you weren't on the first floor. You'd have to climb up a bit.
Well, Lee could just fly. Why don't you go in, see if you can come back out?
I guess that's what I'll do.
So you fly up to the window to your room.
Knock on it. Get what's his name to open the window.
Layrith opens the window. What are you doing?
Well, using the window, of course.
So he steps past and lets you in.
Does he seem normal? Is anything off about him?
You get the sense you just woke him up, but
Okay.
it seems normal.
Uh,
Hopefully, there's a door out of the fucking room.
yeah, is there a door in the room?
There is a door in the room, yes.
Wait.
But going down to the main floor, you see that the door appears to be walled off on this side as well.
Is there anybody in the establishment or is it dead quiet?
It's dead quiet.
Time to go wake Tick. I'm like peering in.
This is really
Nothing?
weird. Where's the door?
Where's Tick?
Yeah, Tech lives here, doesn't she?
She has a room somewhere. I don't know that you've ever been to her room.
Right.
I mean, if all else
Uh,
fails, it's time to get loud.
yeah, no problem. I
wanna
can
go
do
look.
that. I'm gonna
I can
walk
get loud.
Oh, we can all
walk
get
up to
loud.
the door. Um, just reach out my scimitar and touch it. Does it seem like what it appears, like it's walled off?
Yeah, it appears to be like there's, masonry and stone has filled in the doorway.
Okay.
Does,
I'll
does it
take
look
it.
seamless?
No, it doesn't look seamless. It looks like somebody built a wall to seal this doorway.
Can we go
Um,
back further in time and fuck with this?
How
I
would
take
how would it make sense? Somebody could go back in time and fill in all the doors for everybody.
They got to go real far back, and just most of the doors, not all of them.
I take out my mirror and put it up to the door to where it's filled in and look in the mirror. Does it look the same?
Sorry, explain that.
Like
What you're doing again?
I take a mirror out.
Looking at the
You know,
reflection of the door,
yeah, look at the
basically.
reflection. Is the reflection the same?
Yeah, I mean, you see the same wall either
Okay.
way.
I reach into my pouch, pull out my signal whistle, and start making a big effing noise.
So you start blowing into your whistle, making as
Yep.
much noise as possible. You hear doors begin to open on the floors above you,
We do have
uh,
other doors. That's good. Okay.
Yep.
and
Yep.
people come down, most of them yelling for you to be quiet, that they're trying to sleep. If eventually, after a couple minutes, you see Tick come stomping down the steps. She appears to be in bed clothes. She's got her little like sleeping cap on.
Well, good. At least she's clothed. Thank God.
What the hell are you doing?
Oh, did I
You
wake
think
you?
Look at the door.
Yes. Why is the door sealed off?
as you turn, you see a perfectly normal door.
Okay.
You
In fact, all of you see a normal door. Tick comes down and goes behind the bar and comes out with a broom and just starts smacking you with the end of the broom.
Which
I like
end?
dash inside.
With the broom end of the broom.
Tick, you gotta believe us, man. There were no doors.
Well, all right, Tick. Oh yeah, you go back to bed now.
Oh, can I? Oh, thank you very much.
Okay.
You want me to carry you?
She glares at you and then storms back up the stairs.
Hey, it was an honest offer here. I
Yeah,
just
you all
assumed some
watch
other
as
schmuck
the
says,
door
I'll take this
appears to,
carry.
from your perspective outside, since you were like near the door and could see it, it looked like the door just sort of shimmered back into existence.
Okay.
Oh, that's really cool. How'd they do that?
Interesting.
I think we all sucked on a spell. A potent one.
But you all make it inside. Door seems perfectly normal. Doesn't change back into a wall when Tick stops looking at it. Maybe this is all a dream, and Tick is the only one who's awake. So she
Right.
sees things normally.
Maybe she's got the beholder eye. She just looked at it and the magic went away.
Okay, do we have anything else to do? Because if not, I think it's time to go to bed.
Go sleep, buddy. Let's get you tucked in.
So you wake up in the morning, you all get a long rest in. You hear
I
someone.
watched the door all evening.
So Lee, in the morning, at around like 10 in the morning, there's a knock on the door.
Okay. Should we answer it? I go up to the door and listen. Does it sound like more than one person there, or it sound like one person? Is it?
You don't hear too much, so you imagine it's not like if it's a group, they're not talking to each other. But it sounds like one person is knocking.
Okay. Is it one of those persistent knocks, like they want me to answer, or is it they just knocking and then they're just gonna go away because they're doing some crappy like part-time job and they just take out a knock on doors and they just can't wait till they get to the next one?
Well, so at first it's just like a series of 3 raps on the door. Then there's a pause for like 30 seconds and then another 3 knocks. And then another pause, shorter this time, before they knock again.
Okay. I knocked twice back in between that.
Hello. I say I have a message here that I was supposed to deliver to you. Tick told me you'd be awake and that I should come right up.
Is it on some kind of paper or parchment or?
It is a message for Peeble. I say, are you Peeble? He yells
And
really
Peeble
loudly.
immediately runs to the door and opens it.
Ugh. Somebody said the activation word. Ugh.
So you see an older dwarven fellow there who's holding a message in like very fancy paper. Like the envelope has like gilt edges around the sides of it. Ah, I see. You're Peeble. I take it. I was told to deliver this to you. You have a meeting this morning with Professor Peeble, another of your kind. A coach will be sent for you in approximately 1 hour.
Oh, cool. What's that you got there?
This is a letter confirming what I've just told you, that the coach will be here. All expense of the coach will be paid. It will pull up immediately out front of this establishment, assuming I could find you, which I now have.
Okay. Do I need that thing? Because I don't like those leaves.
It would be good for you to hand it to the coachman so that he knows who you are, although you're quite obvious. I don't think he'll mistake you for any other Pengals.
I mean, okay, I'll take it if I could. These things are really boring. They got the squiggles on them, and then they don't look very cool. Oh, this one is kind of nice. It's nice little gold things on it. That's pretty cool.
If you don't require any assistance from me, then I shan't remain around. I can remain here if you prefer and travel with you.
Sure. How about we just chit chat? Like, we got some time to kill. I don't know who you are. We could share stories, and we
Hey,
could
Peeble, hand over the letter. The dead leaves.
wait. You want it? Okay, here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I should have introduced myself. I am Doras Hardright. I am in the service of Heloise Shrun, and she asked me to bring this over.
Hallie Toon! I love Hallie Toon. She's so cool. She's so cool. So, I'm sorry, what's your name? Dory? Dory?
Doras. Doras.
Do.
Not
Doras.
Dodo.
Doris.
Dory would be better than Dodo.
Dory. Dory. Yeah, Dory.
I suppose that's better than Dodo.
Is it?
You should just take what you can get.
He'll take Doey over Dodo.
So, have you seen Hallie Toon? How's she doing? I haven't seen her since that dinner. That dinner was so cool. Can you really tell her how cool I thought it was? And then that was that guy with all the scales. And then Mexico, that guy was pretty cool too.
I will convey your message to her as best as I am able. Obviously, this is a difficult time for her, but she's in relatively good spirits given all that's happened, the death of her retainer, the robbery of her place.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that. Let's get going.
Oh, I
What's
didn't
this?
know all
What's this
those
letter
things
say?
happened to her. That's too bad.
We'll fill you in, Pebble. Don't worry.
Oh,
If
okay.
you look at the letter, it basically reiterates what he said, that a coach will be coming for you in an hour, that it's going to take you to Moorgrave University to meet with Professor Peeble.
Great.
It also says that if you need anything, that this Duras fellow is supposed to assist you. Though you kind of got the sense that he was hoping he would be dismissed. He seems to be dutifully waiting around.
Do I have some food? Do you want some drink? We can get you some of that stuff.
No, thank you very much. I'm quite good.
Oh, okay.
But is there anything you need from me?
How long have you been working with Honey Toon?
I have been working with her for approximately 2 years now.
Oh, that
I'm
sounds
not
like
a
a
member
long
of
time.
not a member of her household staff, but I am one of her several assistants.
Oh, so what does that mean? What does that mean?
I assist her with a great many things. She has a number of business interests that she needs managed. I also will run errands for her, such as delivering this message to you this morning.
You got any
Oh,
others?
is that fun? Is that fun to do? Is she fun like in other times too? Because she seems like a fun person. I really liked hanging out with her. She introduced me to so many people. I got to meet so many new friends.
I just like put a hand around Pebble's shoulder. Hey, buddy, you got to give him a chance to respond, huh? Hey?
Oh, sorry. Sometimes I get started talking and I just can't stop because I'm just so excited and it's so much fun.
Yeah, that's why we love you, but we got to give him a chance.
I would say she's an excellent employer. She's beloved by everyone that I'm aware of. She's beloved by all of her staff. And I
Yeah,
would count myself among those. I have never worked for an employer I have enjoyed more.
that's so
Good,
cool.
good pay.
The pay is quite excellent for the work that I do. I am
Nice.
somewhat specialized. I am well versed in many fields that she has an interest in, although she has such a variegated interest that it is often hard to keep up with her. Far more so than I am. She is quite well versed in areas that I couldn't even begin to fathom. But in terms of history and art and the stone arts, she has more than a passing familiarity, though I would not say she's as expert in those as I am. History, she does come close to rivaling me on, though.
Oh,
Do
so
you
you're
have
pretty
a
smart too.
do you have a period of history that you specialize in?
My primary area of expertise, I was once upon a time an academic before being hired away, was the pre-Dakani period of Corvair.
Ah, did you study at the university?
Not at the Moorgrave University here in Sharn. I did study at Fairhaven, however.
Oh,
Did you
where's
write?
that?
Did you write anything?
I've
Any
written many papers over the years.
any in the
You haven't,
university?
um, I mean, as an academic at the University of Fairhaven is where I wrote most of my papers. Do you have an interest in history?
Occasionally. We are great adventurers. We make history.
Droll.
So how does an academic
Wait. Where,
how does an academic of a published academic become
An errand boy?
an
I
assistant?
wouldn't say that my primary role working for Ms. Troon is to run her errands. I simply do it as a courtesy. I assure you, if you had worked for her, you'd be more than happy to perform little side services when has not otherwise engaged you in a project. She has, as I said, quite a wide array of interests, and one of those is history. So when she needs historical matters researched, she will turn to me. I also frequently write papers for her.
Hmm. What pre-Decani?
It will depend. I have been asked to research things that are outside my specific area of interest.
Ah,
Going back as far as what little we know of the Age of Demons,
Oh,
but
wait.
also my primary
Demons?
area is during the period when the Giant Empire existed. So, but I've done things in the Dakani period as well, and the early period of the founding of the Five Nations,
Have you
plus
seen a
imperial
demon?
history.
Have you seen a demon? Or a
No,
giant? We saw a demon not too long ago. It was real scary. It was icy too.
that sounds terrifying. Happily, no, I have never seen either a demon or a giant. I am would not be well suited to the lifestyle you lead. I'm sure a demon would make quite short work of me.
Droll.
Why do you guys keep drooling? And what
I think Thaldern will like find some reason to like step a little further away and then use the crystal to whisper to Elzen and Lee specifically because I don't know. I don't think Pebble. I just can't trust Pebble to not say what I'm about to say out loud. So, but I would be like, "You think this guy's charmed? Can you tell?"
hmm. I mean, Alzin would be down for a perception check, or rather an insight check. I don't think there's anything. I don't think I have any
Maybe a
thing that
detect
like
magic or
particularly
something.
helps.
I mean, you can make an insight check.
I mean, I think I did ask the question, so I suppose I'll roll one. I see. It's a shame I didn't have that other one.
So you cannot tell that he's charmed. I mean, he seems to have warm feelings towards her. He's not exactly gushing either, except, insofar as people usually bitch about their employers, maybe.
Uh, can I do an insight? But not so much charm, just like everything he just said. Does that seem like above board? Like he is actually an academic. He's actually come here with a message, and that's his only motive. There's not some kind of ulterior thing. He's here for some other reason.
So that's fairly specific, but you can make an insight check. That's what Elzin's doing.
No, I
There
meant
you go.
to
Get him.
talk.
Get him, Ray.
As near as you can tell, he's being sincere.
Okay. Yeah. When he was saying like, "Oh, I could never face demons," and all that stuff. That whether he was full of crap or not. If he's saying
Right.
he's something that he's okay. All right. Yeah, I think I'm on the charm bandwagon then. I think that's where we're at.
I mean, I would not be surprised if Heloise. I guess I'm technically saying this out of character. I wouldn't be surprised if she's like a fucking succubus or something, but like some old one or something. You've seen these letters that she's got from other people, like infatuated.
Yes. Um, I do believe we should hurry to and get ready for
Yeah, let's
this
get moving.
meeting.
I'm woke up enough.
So the hour passes, you go outside, and a sky coach does lower down from above into the street in front of the Watchman's Rest. And you get on. When the driver sees the letter, he immediately clears the path for you to all pile in. And they fly you off to Moorgrave University, where you see in a courtyard. It is basically the Eberron equivalent of a Sunday, but you see that in a courtyard right near where you land, there is a lot of activity, a lot more people than you might imagine for a Sunday. They appear to be like loading crates onto carts. But it's probably 30 people loading up about 6 carts. And in the midst of it all, as you fly in, you all see there is what appears to be a Pengal who seems to be directing a lot of the action. There's a couple people who appear like they're giving orders to the teamsters, basically, who are moving crates, but one of them is definitely a Pengal. But you would notice he doesn't actually look a whole lot like Pebble. He's got very bushy, almost blonde or golden eyebrows that seem to come up and off of his head. Let's see if I have the picture.
An emperor penguin or something.
Oh, Pebble is more emperor penguin. This guy is more of a rockhopper penguin.
Is the coach flying in from above?
Sort of at an angle. It is descending, but you can see him over the basically bow of this airship as it slowly lowers down.
Let's see. Do I still have I don't have one of those feather tokens, but I imagine Pebble would still jump out anyways.
Hold on.
So I mean, you could see
Wait till we land.
He looks like the picture. He is in like a little tweed suit. He's carrying a pipe in his hand as he's directing the activity amongst these people who are moving crates. But he pauses to watch the airship descend and immediately starts walking over to it. Sky coach, I mean, not airship.
So as soon as Thaldarin lets go of Pebble, he immediately starts belly sliding over and leaps into a jumping hug.
So he doesn't like try to avoid you, but there is like a flipper is out as you dive at him and wrap yours around him. And he looks at you. He seems to be a little bit alarmed. It's 2 things you would notice. 1, he doesn't seem like he's really into the hug. And 2, he doesn't feel nearly as cold as a Pengal would in your experience. But he immediately says, "Unhand me, sir. What sort of nonsense is this? I mean, I understand you are a guest, and I must afford you some level of deference, but I guess it has been mentioned to me that your kind does like to physically embrace. It is not the custom where I am from, however."
I don't know what you want me. I just want to give you a hug because I haven't seen another penguin in so long. And it was so cool to see you and to be able to talk to you and to find out all the things that you do and to see if who you know and if we know any of the same people and just to share our stories.
I can
So,
see
hi,
that
I'm Pebble.
I can see that the legends are true. There is a race of savage pangolins living in the north like barbarians. I hadn't heard the stories before, but I scarce believed them. As a child, my mother would try to frighten me with tales of the atavistic pangolins living there. But I gather that what I've heard is true, that you are from the Frostvale?
Well, yeah, that's where penguins are from.
I beg to differ, sir. True civilization exists in the south, the glorious south of the Everas. That is where I am from.
Oh, I didn't know that there were Pengles outside of the Foxville. But I've never been outside the Foxville except for when I started hanging out with these guys. So I guess there could be Pengles everywhere. Do they have the weird bog thing with the monsters in there too?
I am not certain of what you speak, sir.
Hey, what? I noticed that you don't your belly is kind of different.
In what sense? I
I-
noticed that you are quite cold. Quite colder than I think is normal for a pangolin.
Well, all of us are cold. I mean, we all have ice in our bellies. It doesn't go away. You feel cold all the time?
No, I should say not, particularly not in these hot climes that these people live in.
That's weird because pangolins are always freezing. That's why we try to warm ourselves with friends
It is true
and
that
good
in
stories.
It is true that in more primitive times, my ancestors did try to huddle together for warmth. And we are quite resistant to the cold still to this day, but uh, perhaps your particular branch of the pangolin family still does these things.
Wait, so do you belly sign?
No, although, again, I believe that to be an atavism of your particular branch of the family. It is true that our ancestors used to slide on their bellies, particularly when going into the water. We were semi-aquatic back in those days before we founded a true civilization. But, oh, I see your friends are here. I was told to expect you all. Hello, I am the Reverend Polymath Peeble Iskor Rhymefeather, Fellow of the Celestial Current, Master of the Eight Disciplines, and Wanderer beyond the edges of civilization, currently Professor of Primitive Xenoarchaeology here at the University of Mulgrave.
It is a pleasure.
That
And
is more words than our friend Pebble knows.
Yeah, where exactly have you wandered?
Well,
And
I
what
have
are
been
what are the eight
exploring the
disciplines?
wide world. Oh, the eight disciplines are probably, I'm afraid, culturally beyond your level of understanding, but among my people, I am quite well distinguished in the many arts that we have become familiar with. I have been to various continents from Riedra to Corvair to Zendrick. I hope to at some point visit Argonesson so that I may see the civilization of the dragons, if a civilization is the correct term for what it is that they have. So far, I believe only the pangolins have reached true levels of civilization, but I can see that your people are getting closer and closer all the time.
What exactly makes civilization perfect?
Well, for one thing, your levels of magical technology are quite far behind the pangolins.
Really? You can
Oh,
make flying
yes.
ships too?
Oh, of course, if we desired to, we could. There's not as much need for ships in the Everast. We have
I see.
one major city where most of the pangolin population lives,
I see.
but we mostly use teleportation to get from place to place. It is quicker and more convenient, and I would say a sight less dangerous. No chance of falling from the sky when you're using teleportation circles.
So what do you do for fun?
Well, I like to sing. I enjoy partaking of the various art forms that your kind here have developed. He looks to the rest of you. I assume, are there cities in the Frostvale? I have not heard of pangolin civilization outside of Everice.
Well, no, that really. Well, I mean, like a city like this? No, nothing like this.
No,
I mean,
not like
no,
this, of course. I
no,
mean a real
that,
city.
that's like some groups, and we have like a bunch of people that were there, but we had to leave. There's nobody there anymore because there was the fog with the monsters in it, and it was getting like there's no more food, and so that's why we had to come over here. We made the things that go underwater, and the Goliaths and the dwarves helped make them, and then so we went and we went under the water, and then we were there for some time, and then we found these guys.
Truly fascinating. He takes out like a set of calipers and he begins to like measure Pebble's head.
Oh, what's that? That tickles.
I am measuring the dimensions of your skull.
Yeah.
Oh,
What do you think that's gonna do?
okay.
Well, I once encountered a group of, shall we say, atavistic, I think, possibly humans or possibly proto-dwarves with very thick brow ridges that lived in caves. And I'm wondering if perhaps this is the earlier evolution of my own species.
I see.
That is
What if-
unlikely.
What if he is the culmination of everything you ever dreamed of?
I hardly think so, sir. He is what we in our children's stores refer to as a Yankee, one of the northern Pengals that we used in our stories to frighten our children.
Wait. You think
Well,
you think I'm scary?
Well, not me, sir. I am hardly a child, but, a race of Pangos without civilization to buoy their existence and help them to reach to new heights of accomplishment. That is certainly an eerie proposition.
Well, we just really like to be around each other, and we like to sing songs, and I'd like to hear your voice because you seem like you have a good singing voice. But we like tell stories, and we share food, and we invite people over, and then we play games, and then I joined this thing that we with the way of fire because we Pangolins are always cold, so our fire doesn't work quite the same way. But other people that did the way of fire, they made real fire. But my fire is only blue. See, it's blue and cold. I don't know why it's always cold. I think it's because of our course. But so we did things that were really fun, and we just had a good time, except for the monsters. We all had to protect ourselves from the monsters. But that was how it goes. So there.
I must say, sir, I don't understand many of the references that you make. I'm sure
for yours either.
That seems evident enough. I will try my best to use smaller words and to explain myself more fulsomely so that you might better understand me, Pebble. But I have been told
more
to
easily.
answer. Yes, I have been told to answer all of your questions by my newest patron. So, what is it that you would like to know?
Well, first, can I hear you sing?
This is hardly an appropriate place to sing.
but
right here.
What do you mean? It's always a good time to sing.
Well, first of all, we are outside and the acoustics here are dreadful. But second, well, there are
Well, I
many.
mean, if you're so civilized,
the
surely you
world's
have a method for.
the world's the stage, and we are merely players.
Surely you could boom your
But we
voice
are
out.
also surrounded by workmen. And
Well,
You don't
we
think
would
your
not-
singing
they
would
would probably like to hear
help
it.
encourage them, or
I hardly think it is my job to encourage the workmen to do their work, but also I feel like it would more be a distraction to them, something for them to pause their work.
If you don't want to sing, you could just say you don't want to sing. That's okay.
Very well,
he's
then
very very
perhaps
understanding.
another time.
Where you headed?
I hope so. I would really like to hear you sing. But can you tell me about your family? Like where you come from? Like I'd like to hear all your stories, and I can tell you all my stories.
Well, that is two questions, but to answer yours first, I'm sorry, I did not catch your name, sir. He's
Which
looking
one?
at Thaldarin.
You can call me Thalden, but please answer Pebble's questions first. We can do ours later.
Well, I have quite an extensive family of approximately 66 close members, and then another 174 minor members of my family. They all live in Everise, in a place that we call Grotto 67. For the most part, a few of them have branched out from there, especially those that have gotten married and moved on to other families. I have not seen any of them in the past 15 years as I have been exploring the world. But when I go back, I intend to write a book and become probably quite famous amongst our people for having ventured into the wide world beyond Everas itself. I
Yes.
assume that I had assumed that you were probably on a very similar mission, but you don't necessarily seem like the natural explorer that I am. And you mentioned being chased out by monsters from the mist, from the
Yeah.
fog, I believe you said.
Yeah, it was a really bad green fog that was kind of everywhere, and it was getting closer, and it was taking up all the food, and it was like, and we always had bad dreams, and then monsters were coming out, and they were hurting us, and so we eventually had to leave, and then I found these guys, and then we came here, and we're supposed to be doing some kind of mission, but I don't really know what it is. I just know we're supposed to help people so my family can be okay.
Well, protecting your family is a worthy goal, I suppose. I think you should have them explain your mission. You know, doubtlessly would be more effective at accomplishing your goals if you knew what goals you had.
I just,
Admittedly,
I, I just, I just do what they tell me because that it's easier. Because I don't have such a good memory, so I know they told me before, but I keep forgetting.
You just see Elson like tiredly nod.
Yeah,
Just
we're
like
all.
but to answer your question, my newest patron, Heloise Troon, is financing a mission out to the Boneyard, a place I have not visited, but that I understand is some sort of dragon's graveyard. I have more than a passing interest in the history of the dragons and haven't had as much time to investigate their long history in this world. So, seeing a graveyard, particularly one quite so ancient, struck me as an excellent opportunity. We are outfitting the mission now and intend to leave in the next 2 or 3 days, depending upon how much progress we can make in the meantime.
You're gonna go
how are you
see
get
the dragon bones?
A
That
dragon's
sounds fun.
graveyard. So that would stand to reason that there must be dragon bones there as well. Though I'm told these dragon bones, in some cases, may be new and may date back as many as 100,000 years or more.
That
How
seems
long will
real
it take to
old.
get there?
Probably approximately 2 months. First, we will take ships to Valinor, and then from there we will travel overland up to the dragon's graveyard, called the Boneyard, I believe, by your people.
this is a very far trek.
But luckily, by the time we reach there, there should already be a base camp established, as there is a second expedition from the Wayfinder Society that we will be meeting up with in order to better investigate the environs.
What is what questions are you looking to answer?
Well, for me myself, I am interested in the origins of this graveyard. I have heard the rumors that there are no dragons currently present there, but that strikes me as unlikely that they wouldn't guard their own sacred graveyard. I assume we will find various cultural and religious artifacts that will help me to better understand why it is they have such a centralized graveyard for their kind.
Hmm.
Oh, there's such thing as elephants.
Uh, are you asking that aloud?
Yeah, above board. Is there such a? Do they have elephants in this world? In Corvair
Uh,
or anywhere?
so Mully would probably answer you in your head and say yes, that those animals exist.
Hmm.
Uh, But that might well be one of those things. Certainly none have survived into the age of Shosharn.
For sure.
So it's not, maybe Thaldarin has heard of them, but they would be like mythical.
Yeah. Let alone elephant graveyards, right? Can't make
Right.
that sort of reference.
Well, yeah, elephant
I'm sure
graveyards.
maybe if he knows what an elephant is, surely he would know that.
Right. So far as I, the DM, know, elephant graveyards are mythical. That elephants die, but they don't like go to one place.
Lee has left about 2 minutes into him talking and has gone over to obviously one of the workers who's not working because, they don't all work at the same time. And just standing there watching to see what they're loading up in these crates, if you can tell what they are.
So you see them mostly moving crates, like these crates are sealed. When you
Okay.
do see them
Okay.
occasionally sealing up a crate, mostly it appears to be provisions.
Okay.
You do see mixed in amongst the carts, there are various sorts of like workers' tools. They look almost like masonry tools, digging tools, that sort of thing. So, Peeble, tell me, you am I to understand there are no cities of pangolins in the Frostvale?
But there wasn't really enough room for cities. Like, there was, I would say there were probably about maybe 80 pangolins, and then there were like 20 Goliaths, and there was like uh, probably another 30 or 40 dwarves. That was about it.
Do you live in a mixed society with Goliaths and dwarves?
Oh yeah. They're a lot of
Fascinating.
fun. The dwarves, they are okay. They're a little stiff. They really like working with ice and making things out of ice. And the Goliaths, they're actually really good pranksters.
Are they? I have seen Goliath at a distance. I can't say I ever made the acquaintance of one, but I was completely unaware that any of them lived alongside pangolins.
What? Why do you keep saying it like that?
Goliath? Is that not
No,
how it's said?
no, pangolin. It's a pangle.
Yeah, where I'm from, we refer to our noble race as the pangolins. And then from there, of course, we believe that explorers from Corvair who encountered us brought that word back and twisted and corrupted it into the word penguin, which they use,
Oh,
of course, for similarly shaped relatives that sometimes live along the coastline of the Everest.
so am I a pangolin then? Not a pangle?
If you prefer to be called pangle, the word itself doesn't matter, purely semantics.
He doesn't know that word.
I'm just learning so much because it seems like you're so different than the other pangolins I know. Sorry,
It is
pangolin.
it is possible that the northern and southern pangolin have different sub races, as they classify them here, which might explain why you have ice on your belly still, and we have evolved away from that trait.
What? So you don't? How did you break the course?
I'm sorry, curse?
Yeah, the course.
I don't rightly know what you're talking about.
Well,
World traveler, huh?
what?
I can say that we are not cursed.
Well, all the penguins are always born with ice over their hearts, and they're always cold. We're always cold, so that's because there's a big monster that lives in the ice, and he's trapped, and he's gonna stay trapped as long as there's a penguin, because we took ice and I don't exactly know how it works, but because we have ice and we feel cold all the time, then the monster stays trapped. And so we try to do our best to we can't feel warm like in our bodies because it's always so cold. So instead, that's why we have great friends and we share great meals and we have great stories and play great games because then we get to feel the warmth of love.
Well, where I am from, it is told in some of our ancient legends that our people were cold, but then we developed magic that keeps us warm all the time, at least feeling warm and unaffected by the cold around us, beyond what our normal natural immunity to cold might provide us. But we do not feel cold wrapped around our hearts, and we have no mythology of a curse that traps demons. That may be unique to your particular northern variety.
Hmm.
I
So
notice that you have several physical characteristics that are quite different from the pangolins I am aware of in the south. You lack eyebrows, I notice. Makes it look
yeah,
almost like you've shaved them off.
yeah.
Big bushy eyebrows are a sign of a distinguished pangolin.
Oh,
Why?
well, I I I mean, I wish I
Who
had
said
them
that?
too. They look pretty cool.
I do like that strap of white moving through your feathers.
Oh, thank you. So, but so pangolins could feel warm. Like maybe I could feel warm on my family.
It is possible. And he pulls a ring off of his finger. Put this on and see what happens.
Uh, I'm scared.
You don't have to, of course. I'm curious as to whether or not it would make you feel warm. If, as you say, this is based on a curse, and I admit that that could be local folklore more than reality, uh, a curse probably would not be counteracted by the magic in this ring. But if it's simply a physical chill that is somehow innate to you, I imagine this should mask it. I myself suddenly feel a mite colder now that I've taken it off, despite the balmy weather here in Sean.
Pebble is genuinely like shaking now, uh, because his brain is being challenged in a way that it's never been before. The idea of the possibility of being warm, but then also the consequences of what happens if the curse breaks.
Ah,
You don't have
ah.
to if you don't want to. I understand the power of cultural taboos.
Can can I just hold it? Can I hold the wing?
If you like, I would like the ring back. It is every
Oh,
pangolin is given one of these rings when they come of age, and so this one is mine and is a symbol of my being a man.
I don't want to take it from you. I would never take anything from you unless you gave it to me as a gift. But I just want to kind of hold it, if that's okay.
Of course. And he drops it into your hand. The ring feels warm, like the ring seems to sort of radiate a warmth on its own.
So how does it interact with Pebble? Because Pebble literally cannot feel warm with his, whether it's a curse or whatever it is.
So then you probably just wouldn't notice anything about the ring. What you might notice is the ring doesn't feel like it's absorbing any cold whatsoever from your body.
Okay. He's gonna give it back and he's gonna say,
Ah, that's a way cool wing. I'm a little scared to try it on though, because I don't know what will happen. Um, but if there's a way that I can bring something like this to my family, and maybe we could finally be warm, that would be that would change everything.
As I said, if your coldness is somehow linked to a curse, I do not believe the magic of the ring will be powerful enough to dispel the curse. In which case, it probably wouldn't make you feel any warmer, at least not appreciably so. Also, I'm afraid I do not possess the skills necessary to make new rings. There are certainly plenty of people in Everas who could do so. Probably other people here on Corvair who could probably make similar rings, albeit their technique will be somewhat different than that of the pangolins.
You know what?
Are the
I think I do want to try it on if that's okay.
Of course, if you would like.
He takes it shaking and like puts it on.
And when you put it on, you think you feel something like a tingling on your finger, but you wouldn't say you feel appreciably warmer. It's almost like you feel a tickle in your belly, but that's
So
it. The ice does not melt, and you don't feel appreciably warmer.
so with that tickle in my belly, Pebble will go,
Okay, here.
and he takes off the ring.
That was
Uh,
weird.
I take it that did not eliminate the ice from your belly.
No, but it kind of tickled.
It is possible that perhaps I should spend more time investigating the Frostfell. Perhaps there's something we could do about this demon in the ice that's keeping your people cursed.
That would
Although
be
I
amazing.
I am confused. Is the demon in the ice cursing your people, or is the curse just some manifestation of the magic that keeps it trapped?
Uh,
He doesn't know those words.
so, so, so the course is because as long as a penguin is alive and has the ice in their heart, then the monster won't be able to get out. But if all the penguins go away and nobody else holds the ice, then the monster will get out.
That will require more research to understand exactly what the nature is of this magic. It doesn't necessarily sound like that. It might not be a curse, Pebble. It might be that your people voluntarily took on some form of magic and that your maintaining this magical ice is part of what is restraining the creature. I mean, you could think of it, it's certainly a burden, perhaps, that you can't feel warmth. But it might not be a curse per se, as in a malevolent force foisted upon you unwillingly.
Ah,
Sorry, guys, I gotta get going now.
Okay.
no.
But thanks, guys.
See ya,
Take
hot.
care, everyone.
Have fun.
Pebble gets stunned.
He can't stop laughing because of the tickle in his belly. He's just on the ground.
Is it common for uh Bengals from Everice to range far afield?
Oh no, as far as I know, I'm the first to ever visit Corvair. It must have happened in the past. In fact, the more I think about it, it is possible that an expedition from Everas ultimately went north and settled in the Frostvale. Perhaps many tens of thousands of years ago, which would explain the primitive attributes of your friend here.
Or it was vice versa.
But possibly, although one wonders how such a primitive species would have made it all the way to Everas in order to evolve into this higher form.
I I think Bengal is just I think Pebble is just special.
Yeah, I'm like,
It's
you saw
clearly
the
special.
others, right? The others of his family. Elzen.
Yes. Elson did. I don't remember.
They all
Like
seem kind of very similar to Pebble.
Did they?
Yes.
Oh no.
They
Uh,
weren't maybe quite as special, but they were all into hugging in a way that this guy isn't.
Mhm.
mhm.
Clearly, the hugging thing stuck. That was the big thing. Did they all behave so naively and or be incapable of lying?
I think
So
so.
yeah, they didn't really have occasion to lie. But they all seemed, not complex, shall we say. So tell me, how is it that you all have come to know Heloise Troon? I understand there was some sort of incident between Peeble and her, but I don't much read the papers or follow the society goings on.
Yeah,
Pebble's a bit of a local celebrity, so there was a organization mimicking him.
I had heard that he has brought some degree of opprobrium to the noble pangolin species. Not directly or intentionally, of course, but through these changeling devils who had impersonated him and gone about committing petty larceny throughout the city.
You should have seen Pebble's outfit for the party, though. I think even you might have
I
thought it
assume he's
was.
still wearing it.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying at the party though it was a lot nicer. He's been wearing it; he hasn't fucking taken it off. So
Yeah, it is quite ostentatious. Far more ostentatious than I am used to on the salary that I am afforded by this university.
Hmm.
But I am a pangolin of humble means, so I do not require quite so much finery as that. He says in his tweed suit with his tie.
right,
right.
yeah, I'm like nodding my head. I'm like, nice tie.
Oh, thank you. It is a trifling that I picked up here in Sean. It does take quite some doing to get clothes tailored for the pangolin form here.
Heloise seems to have a person.
I can hardly afford. I only just made her acquaintance a short while ago, and she only just in the past week agreed to become a patron of my research.
Hmm.
And then she immediately offered me this opportunity to go to the boneyard and meet with an associate of hers from the Wayfinder Society, a group I've had some dealings with, although not quite so directly, more socially prior to this. But I am meeting with a prominent member of the Wayfinder Society in the boneyard, who I believe will arrive at least a week or two before we do to set up a base camp. He is also looking for artifacts, although I am not sure he is interested in the cultural history of the dragons quite so much as I am.
What do you hope to find?
As I said, I am mostly interested in investigating the culture of the dragons. Whether or not this graveyard is still in active use, I imagine there must be some sort of ritual objects that can be found there.
Hmm.
Plus, I am led to believe that no scholar has yet figured out why the dragons started interring their dead there in the first place,
Is there
assuming they
reasons
inter their
heard?
dead.
Yeah. Okay. You haven't been there though, obviously yet. Not yet.
No. In fact, I only just recently heard of it when Heloise Troon revealed its existence to me. But a location where the dragons seem to go to die, that's quite intriguing. Dragons, from what I know of them, which is admittedly only stories, don't necessarily strike me as the most spiritual of creatures. So why have a common ground to die upon? But I know very little of their religion. I'm hoping to learn more on this trip.
When do you depart?
As I said, we are packing now. We hope to leave in the next 3 days. Our ship will be chartered by then. It will be quite an expedition. We will be taking 6 carts and 2 dozen people. We still have more people to hire, of course.
What do you need?
We may have to actually hire some of them in Valinor.
Is that a
Do you have an interest in archaeology?
well? Like I said, as history makers, we tend to be where history is. So
Yeah,
if
you
we're
said
meant
that
to be there,
to the other guy,
yeah, I said that to the previous guy.
to the dwarf. I mean, you appear to be adventurous. Is that the term they use up here? We
Pretty
are.
good term.
I'm not from my culture is not well known for its adventurers. We are homebodies for the most part, living in our city. We do occasionally. We have an armed forces that sometimes has to venture out into the frozen waste. But there are very few natural enemies of the pangolin race left in Everas.
Lucky you.
So, if you'll forgive me, he turns to Elzin. Are you from the Talenta Plains?
I am,
Interesting. So, is there
and in
uh,
Tenwalder.
very nice to make your acquaintance. Is there any advice you can give me on dealing with your people in the Talenta Plains? I have to say, you seem quite well dressed for a Talenta Plains halfling. My information is, of course, all anecdotal and secondhand from the sources that I've read, but I believe you have a tribal organization there.
That is correct. You shouldn't judge a halfling by its trousers. Um,
Probably very
but
wise, sir. Very wise advice indeed.
but there is uh there is if you wish to break bread, there is dinosaur riding, which is mandatory for newcomers.
I have seen these creatures here in the city,
Yes.
at least a
Yeah.
few examples of them. One of them even alive, but mostly specimens that have been brought back from the Talenta Plains. I do hope to
It
see some
is
of them living while I'm out there.
it is considered rude if you are offered a ride and deny it. So if you wish to be on the good graces of the halflings out there, you must accept their wishes as they state them.
That is possibly very useful advice that I had not heard elsewhere. We shall have to hire a halfling guide to help see us safely across the plains. My understanding is that some of your people can be quite territorial and don't necessarily like to see outsiders trekking across the plains, especially if my information is correct, not to the boneyard.
Yeah, all the more reason uh to follow the custom.
Well, I'm hoping we can avoid any trouble with your people when we try to enter the boneyard.
Yes, it is a sacred place. I have not been myself, but I intend to go uh, at some point. It is as a pilgrimage.
I had not heard that it was secret. I heard that it was quite taboo, that your people believe anyone who enters the boneyard will bring misfortune to the rest of his tribe.
Oh, that is true. It is. I guess it has been more of a curiosity, an academic curiosity on my part.
So
But
I gather you can't help me understand what the risk might be of entering. I don't necessarily believe that the land itself is cursed in the sense that I have heard, but it is undoubtedly true that there must be all sorts of creatures that live within the boneyard. Any place where you get so much death, I imagine, is going to attract some unsavory sorts of creatures. Corvair seems quite plagued with hostile supernatural entities.
I am afraid I cannot provide further information
No matter, sir, no
on
matter.
the nature, but um, yeah, I will be interested to see the report once you make it.
Well, that would take quite some time. If you're still around, I have no problem with sharing my report with you. I certainly will be writing up a paper publicly, although how long it will take me to compose that paper might be a year or more before I'm ready to publish.
Ah, very well. You said there was a party setting up base camp ahead of time.
Yes,
How are how are they getting there?
so the Wayfinder Society has chapters all over the continent, at least all over the four remaining nations. The expedition that is setting out there probably has already left, but they are traveling uh, from places in Karnath. I believe they shall be gathering together before they cross the border into the Talenta Plains. They will arrive there quite well before we do, if unless we happen to find some faster way of traveling. But in any
Ah,
event, we will not be as well equipped to set up a base camp as they will be. So it makes no sense for us to try to expedite our trip there. I understand, though, Heloise Troon has asked that we deliver things to them, so things to help in their particular search.
hmm.
But it will be good to know that when we get there, we will have an established base camp to rest in, as I'm sure the travels will be quite draining for the people that go with us.
It is absolutely.
Mm.
Hmm.
What is it that you fellas all do? I mean, apart from being adventurers, like what is your current employ?
I was in like thinks for a minute. I was like,
You know,
what would you say I do here?
what would you say you do here? In between,
Ah,
well, I would say I'm in between jobs.
I see. I imagine that must happen a lot. Are you mostly self-directed adventurers, or do you take jobs that people hire you for?
Yes, we do both.
So,
We we are we are generally self-directed, and then we'll take jobs uh as need of materials or funds
Yeah,
uh comes up.
I see. So this is like a period of respite for you here in Sean.
exactly.
A little bit.
But we always
Yes.
got to
Uh,
keep an eye out.
so do you have job prospects lined up? How long do you expect to remain idle?
Well, we met with a guy at Heloise's party. Might hear from him soon.
Yes. I'm afraid our our break is going to be ending, in short order. Can't say
So you
exactly when.
I understand.
But
Discretion is always important. So you have jobs lined up. You just haven't embarked upon them yet.
Yeah,
that is
pretty
correct.
much. So you work here?
I am a professor here, yes, at least for the moment. I have decided to partake of the civilization of the four nations for a while to better understand it so that when I return, I can describe this uh, quite highly populated culture that you have here.
Are
Say
other
that.
pangolins of
Pe-
Everest
Pangolins.
pangolins? Are the pangolins?
It's Pangolins according to Mike. I just like the notion that somebody got the word penguin from pangolin.
is the are there other are other pangolins and from Everest as genteel as yourself? Or are
Uh,
you an anathema to your kind?
I would not say anathema. There are all sorts of pangolins, of course, and different levels of sophistication and interest, but I would presume to say that I am probably fairly typical of my kind. I am more educated than the average, but otherwise I'm quite normal. We are all extremely proud creatures, proud of our culture and our history. So much so that it's virtually unheard of for any of our people to leave the Everest.
Hmm.
Not that we have no curiosity or interest in the wide world beyond, but we have things so close to perfect where we are that it hardly seems worth it to most people to leave. It was considered to be quite the sacrifice that I agreed to embark upon this expedition of my own, to explore the whole of the rest of the world and to be the first of my kind to do so in centuries. Well, I say that, but apparently it seems as if the people of Corvair have more contact with the pangolins from the north.
Well, that would make sense. It is much closer. Everest is far, right? I mean,
It
how long does
is
it take to
on the
get there from here?
Well, it depends on the means of travel, but it is approximately as far from Zendrick as it is as the Frostfell is from here, from Corvair, I mean to say. Although I would say there is the Demon Wastes are probably the closest point of land between the Frostfell and Corvair. You have to travel further south than that to get to any place that's safe to visit. Zendrick is much the same. The south coast of Zendrick doesn't have that much civilization or culture to speak of. It has the drow, of course, but they are generally fairly hostile to visitors. You have to make it all the way around to Stormreach before you find anyone who'd be willing to talk to you. Still, our people are woefully incurious about the nature of the giants' ruins that are scattered across Zendrick. Sometimes I'm concerned that perhaps your people will stumble upon something that could be of catastrophic world ending importance. And since your magical technology is so far behind ours, I sometimes have nightmares that you might accidentally trigger an apocalypse. He laughs.
I mean, maybe you should be talking to Heloise.
She has an interest in artifacts, to be sure, but I don't think she'll be the one to trigger the apocalypse.
You never know,
It
right?
is
Isn't that the thing?
your use of the giant's creation forges that has me most concerned. It seems clearly your house Cannith was trifling with things that are quite beyond their understanding, possibly beyond pangolin understanding, especially as we've never studied them. Luckily, it doesn't seem as if it caused any problems, but then we don't really know what caused the morning, do we? And we can only be
We
glad that it stopped at the borders of Sire.
The political
that's
borders, right?
no.
Very strange.
Hmm.
For all we know, they were one step away from triggering something that could have covered all of Corvair, possibly beyond. Giants' technology is quite powerful. They banished a plane, you know.
The Giants did?
Yes, there used to be a 13th coterminus plane, Zoriat. Sorry, Dalcor. I made that mistake once last time, too.
Hmm. Ah,
And
yes.
I've had some dealings, by the way, with beings from Dalcor, nasty, nasty alien creatures. They seem as though, and I you probably already know this, but they have infiltrated Salona quite extensively.
And how if
What
if
is-
they if they
what is
if they're it's no longer coterminous, how did they get here?
Well, that's quite an interesting story. See, there's more than one faction of the Quarry, as they're called, the creatures of Dalquor, but it seems as though they, despite no longer having direct access to our plane, they were able to manifest themselves in the minds of mostly humans, is my understanding. Salona being the continent that humans are originally from. Um, some of them became infected by these quarry spirits. Some of those then became what you refer to as the Kalashtar. Then there are other groups in Salona that are equally infested by the quarry. There are also natural, regular humans there, but I believe they're viewed more as kind of, perhaps you could say, akin to breeding stock, possibly as cattle. Nasty creatures, as I said, creatures of nightmare. And obviously, we all still dream. That is a manifestation of Dalquor itself.
Ever heard of
What
a guy named
when you
Mordain the Flesh Weaver?
The name is familiar, but I can't say I know who it is off the top of my head. Oh, he was that escaped convict a century ago, wasn't he? Escaped from the
yes,
Dreadhold prison.
that the guy.
I mean, this was more, I believe, possibly several centuries ago. Doubtlessly, he is deceased by now, thankfully. You have an interest in Mordain lore? Can't say I'm an expert in that.
I just want to meet the guy. That's all. That's all I want.
Yeah, if he's still alive, he would be quite ancient at this point.
In your
And
dealings with the sorry, go on.
God, I was just going to say, and probably still quite sought after by the people who maintain that Dreadhold is an escape-proof prison, with one exception.
In your dealings with the Dalkori, uh were they intelligible?
They
How did you
have,
deal with them?
well, I have not encountered one physically. I am told, or at least I have read accounts that they can sometimes manifest physically here in Eberron. Thankfully, such things are rare, particularly in this age now that the giants have banished the plane. But when they manifest, they usually manifest through a host. So you do not deal with them directly, you deal with their host, whose personality they completely suppress. When I have spoken with them, I treated them as I would any other being. I had no reason and have no reason to try to actively antagonize them just because they are joined beings. But they politically dominate the continent of Salona. Consequently, I was quite happy to depart from Salona and head to Corvair.
Were there still Palashtar in our time?
Yes. In fact, that's the only sort of joined species that you're aware of.
Right.
Important. Does this guy have two mouths on his torso?
You don't see that anymore. Once you woke up, that seemed to disappear. So even the
Okay.
party members no longer seem to have two mounts.
Okay. That's a
Only the
much
boys
of a
brag.
relief to Elzen. Is he still experiencing any of the after effects, like
You you
seeing?
s- you still feel like you could fall asleep, like instantly if you wanted to, and you feel like you feel like your mind has been overwhelmed by something. So it's like there's a pressure in your head. It doesn't necessarily feel like it's a psychic intrusion or a presence, but it's like a feeling of uneasiness.
Gotcha. Okay.
Elzen got hit by an intellect devour. This is just an intellect
Right.
devour
Yeah.
instead.
But you're not allowed to reveal to them that you're an intellect devourer in an Elson suit.
Well, that would make it true.
It's fine. I have one of my characters who their character died. One of my in my group, their character died, but there was a doppelganger in there, and where he died. So I was like, "Hey, how would you like to bring that character back?" All right, you can, but they're a doppelganger. You can't tell anybody.
I once had a game where I had to tell a player that he had been replaced by a slod. And I was like, look, I don't want to like completely take you out of the game. So I'm just telling you now, you are a slot who is impersonating you. And your goal is to lead all of these guys into an ambush. It is a shame that you are otherwise prepared to be employed, as it would be interesting to travel alongside a pangolin again.
Who knows? Maybe our jobs will align.
Well,
It
I
is
imagine.
possible.
I wouldn't imagine anyone else here in the city would have business in the boneyard, but possibly in the future. I don't imagine I will be returning to Sean possibly for several months. I would hope to spend at least a month's worth of time in the boneyard, probably more if I'm going to study it in any degree of thoroughness. But it will also take us 2 months to get there, and then obviously another 2 months to get back. So I would expect it would be at least possibly 5 to 6 months before I'm in the city again. After that, I probably should be here for quite some time. I do have some duties here in the university, and they will want me to make progress on writing a paper on this expedition. I am lucky that Heloise Troon was willing to pay them quite handsomely for my time so that I could take this off-season expedition to the boneyard.
Indeed. Are you going to have ways of communicating with her? You can send letters?
Possibly I will be corresponding with her. She has not specifically asked me to pen her letters. We're not taking anyone from House Civis, although that is not a bad thought now that I think about it. May be useful to be able to send speaker posts from wherever we are, if I can find a member of House Civis to accompany us.
Hmm. What of your backgrounds, which one was Heloise most interested in?
Well, it's probably my expertise in archaeology. But she somehow
Hmm.
became aware that I have a great interest in all things draconic, and so she contacted me with a more detailed explanation of the boneyard than I'd have ever had before. I'm not even sure I'd ever heard the name. But she's a charming
Oh,
woman, and her pocketbook is quite vast, apparently, because she didn't think twice about funding this expedition. Seems to have some sort of relationship with the leader of the Wayfinder expedition. I don't know the
hmm.
details, but I gather it's some sort of personal relationship rather than a professional one. Possibly some mixture of both. I try not to pry into such things.
Who's the guy that we talked to at the party?
Merrick Kenneth.
Okay, yeah, Decan. Maybe that was the guy who said he might have a job for us or something.
Yeah, that was Merrick Kenneth. Although it was suggested that that's probably going to relate to some like smuggling that he does into the city.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You guys need guards?
Well, I was going to suggest we do need security. We have not yet hired mercenaries. And from what I understand from Ms. Troon, it seems as if that would be at least within your skill set.
Indeed.
That is correct.
But I don't mean to take you away from other employment. If you're already committed to something else, I would not want you to have to break a contract with someone.
Nah,
I'm sure
When
we
are
could
you
find.
leaving?
I was simply planning on using connections that Miss Troon has with House Deneath to hire some of their guards. But that would not afford me the pleasure of traveling with a pangolin.
I mean, we've been thinking we've been in the city long enough lately. We might be possibly leaving. Well, so we're don't discount us yet. How about that?
If you're saying you're available to be hired, I might be, well, I would be intrigued by that.
Yeah, I think we gotta be able to talk it over real quick. We haven't had a set plan. This is kind of how adventuring works. We kind of wing a lot of stuff. Okay. The thing about a plan is it never survives contact with anything. So,
But you should still understand what our plans are so that you can, as
absolutely.
I said, we might be out of Sean for as much as 6 months. And I would expect you to travel with us that whole time. I would
Of
not
course.
want my security running off.
No, I understand. Where can we find you?
I mean, you can find me here,
Okay. Well, I mean,
but we will be setting sail from here, traveling across the Hilt and around Redcliffe Bay, over into Kraken Bay, where we will dock at Pilas Meralda. We'll then travel up the road through Tervalestis, where we will pick up additional supplies and people traveling further then to Ter Shantara. That's where we're hoping we will be able to find halfling guides to travel with us across the Talenta Plains. I am not sure we will find halfling guides there, but my understanding is there are a few, and we will have to get somewhat lucky. From there, we'll have to travel across the Blade Desert, possibly stopping in at halfling settlements along the way. I mean, we do not intend to go to Gatherhold per se unless we find that we absolutely need to. That will be quite a detour and add a couple of weeks to our trip if we have to go there to get halflings to help us enter the boneyard. And as I understand it, the halflings are quite terrified to enter the boneyard, so we may have to leave our halfling guides outside the place. Will that be a problem for your friend Elzen? Sorry, Andon.
yeah.
I do not think so.
Well, I'm glad to know that
Um,
not everyone is afraid of superstitions like taboos. It is possible, of course, that there is some true magical effect. These things do happen, but my understanding is no halfling has ventured into the boneyard in quite some time.
as far as I know, that is still accurate. Um, but it has also been a while since I've been home, so things can always change. Someone gets new ideas and infects the rest of the lot.
Well, I do not mean to pressure you, but we will have to make a decision on whether or not we are hiring outside mercenaries or your company. So I will
How
need an
How long will you
answer
need?
in the next day or two.
Oh, yeah. Not a
we
problem.
can provide an answer
We just got to talk
by
to a few
then.
people first, set some business in order before we do anything. And we're going to talk amongst ourselves. We got to make sure that this is what is right for the group. Pebble is still frozen over there, by the way. You broke Pebble.
Yeah, I fear that my ring had a greater effect on him than I was anticipating.
I don't think it was the ring.
I assume that if you have any business with Ms. Troon, that you will wrap that up. By the way, we should also discuss, I will not necessarily want you sharing anything that we find with Miss Troon directly, not without running it past me, of course. Pub, the goal here is to be the first to publish. I would not want any discoveries that we make to be unduly revealed to the public before I have a chance to write about them.
Listen, I love a good secret. That one, don't tell him anything.
You pointing to Pebble?
Yeah.
I don't fear that anything that I would wish to keep secret would be in the nature of academic secrets that I would want to be the first to publish. They don't seem like they would be the sort of thing that Pebble would take a great deal of interest in. But
The
good to know.
kid is a weird sponge, okay? You have to trust me. He remembers the weirdest things.
They're far less scary outside of the children's stories that I heard in my youth.
You're gonna change your tone. I trust me.
As long as it doesn't, cannibalize children the way they do in the stories.
Oh, that's fair. That's not gonna happen.
Well, luckily we won't be traveling with children anyway, so probably limited opportunity for him to devour them.
May look like he was gonna devour them. He's just going to hug them. That's
Is devour them with love.
it.
Is the Pebble way.
That is true. Is he always so touchy?
What do you mean
Yes.
touchy?
Like he likes to touch people?
Oh yeah. Yes.
As I said, there was a time, according to our stories, when my people used to huddle together for warmth, but we have moved quite past that. It's considered quite rude to invade someone's personal space.
Well, it seems in their culture, they like to hug each other.
Well, I mean, sensible. If he is indeed the primitive atavistic version of the pangolin, as I suspect, my belief is that my ancient ancestors used to have to huddle together for warmth, which may have been the origin of a custom like that, but we have long since moved back past needing physical contact to maintain body heat.
Well, he doesn't feel heat, so he's just
Right.
hugging.
That is true, which I guess makes it somewhat perplexing that he is so dedicated to hugging strangers. Suffice to say, if you can prevent him from hugging me, I will always appreciate it.
There's no way. He's slippery, literally, like quite literally. Look, and I like tip him over. He's still just like gently shove him, and he's just, always slippery. Well,
He is a most unusual specimen. Between his ability to leap and his sliding around, I'm sure he is quite mobile.
handy to have in a fight.
Well, that is good to know. It's good to know that he has. I mean, that is essentially what I would be hiring your group for. Should push come to shove, I've no real reason to believe we will get into combat operations, but the elves themselves are quite aggressive, and my understanding is they frequently make incursions into the Talenta Plains and across the Blade Desert, and that they and the halflings often get into skirmishes. Ideally, we would avoid such things, and we will have a supply of coin with us to try to buy our way out of any hostilities should they arise. But between that and, the normal sort of creatures one might encounter, we have to be prepared for anything.
Sure.
Understandably. You never know what you'll find. And then there's such a long way from here to there.
Yes, I mean, the voyage on the ship should hopefully be uneventful. And then the voyage through Valinor should be mostly on the roads. So again, probably uneventful apart from possibly banditry. But traveling in a large group might help dissuade bandits. But the journey across the Talenta Plains, well, not all dinosaurs are owned, as I understand it. Wild ones stalk that land, and part of our journey will be through the Blade Desert. I don't even know what manner of creatures might survive there. And then the boneyard itself probably contains possibly undead or other creatures that have made that place their home. Indeed, creatures might well be the origin of the halfling taboo against entering that place. It may be that the halflings who go in simply never come out. So they tell themselves essentially ghost stories about what might be in there. But one of the bits of excitement is we will get to be among the first to see and hopefully return with the tale. There's shockingly little research about that place.
Well, if you're not allowed in most of the time, it makes sense.
Yeah, we may have to dodge some of the local halfling tribes. Though, if the taboo is that entering there brings bad luck to you and your tribe, I don't know that they should necessarily try to stop us per se if we're willing to risk it. As long as we're not bringing bad luck to them. They may want to prevent your friend Elzen from entering.
Oh, why is that?
Because you are a halfling, and I don't know what tribe you're a member of, but they may fear a halfling bringing this doom or whatever it is upon them. I don't know the rules of the taboo, you understand. It may be that when you leave the boneyard, the taboo is you'll bring bad luck to anyone you encounter, in which case they may try to prevent us all, lest we should encounter them on the way out. But the version of it I read is that you will doom your tribe by entering it. So yes, please come back to me in the next, preferably in the next 24 hours, as that will give me time to go and find alternate mercenaries. I need to find mercenaries who are willing to leave in like 2 days. I could delay that a bit if necessary, but also return. I'll need to know what amount you wish to charge for this service. Keeping in mind, again, this will be 5 to 6 months, so you might as well quote your price on a monthly basis.
Of course. We'll crunch
I
our
would
numbers.
propose I will pay half in advance and half upon our return. You will then probably have limited time to make your own preparations to the extent you need to.
Right. That's exactly why I said we need to talk to people anyways to know for sure. And
Well,
amongst
very good.
ourselves.
If you have no further questions for me, I need to get back to directing the workmen here, as I can see they're already slowing up.
Ah, yes. Do not let
Are
us
they?
stop you.
Yeah, I mean, you're not, it's maybe a few workmen or more workmen are milling about than were when you first got there. Very well. Hopefully, you will be free to help us on this venture. It will be good to know that we have competent security traveling with us. And with mercenaries, you kind of never know who you will get, how proficient they will be. House Deneath is, my understanding, quite well regarded. But you have a bit of a track record with Heloise Troon, so I imagine you must be quite proficient.
You could say that.
We're making a splash.
Well, it was lovely meeting you all today. I hope we get to travel together further. Otherwise, if you ever need me and I'm in Sean, feel free to call upon me.
Of course. Thank
Sounds
you for your
good.
time.
And he bows, sticks the pipe in his mouth and turns and starts barking orders at some of the workmen who seem to not be doing anything.
Elzen would, turn to the group and say, "Shall we continue on?"
Yeah, I doubt the professor's here. It'd be really great if he was.
It being a Sunday, he's probably not.
Makes this very difficult.
I mean, Tick probably knows where he lives. You don't, but Tick probably does. So let's take a 5 minute break. And Dustin, are you okay to continue? Because
I am
I
struggling.
wasn't sure. I thought maybe you were just role playing Elson being dead tired so well.
I'm struggling to stay awake. But I can try to push for a little bit.
Okay, well, we'll probably wrap up in an hour anyway. But let's take 5 minutes. I need to let my dogs out.
Sounds good.
I just realized now I'm going to have to do the Peeble voice for a while.
Right.
I hadn't considered that when I first started the session.
Considered what? Sorry, I just
That that if you actually go on this expedition, that I'm going to have to continue doing the Peeble voice for a while. It was kind of a lark where I was like, man, let's go with like stereotypical South. He's from the South Pole. That counts.
like the that your wasn't it your friend you told us about your friend who was gonna run like an Underdark campaign like out of the abyss and then have them all speak Australian.
Right. Because why not? They're from down under.
Yeah. All right. Let's see if this cold beverage is enough to keep me awake for another hour.
So where are you off to next?
I think we need to. I want to talk to the professor before we decide to do anything, but
I mean, we
I
could
mean,
say you can find him. He's not necessarily hidden.
see where he lives. Sure, he'll love that.
But,
Hmm.
Tick doesn't have any problem telling you where he lives.
Great. Let's go talk to Tick.
So yeah, I
I'm
mean,
sure Tick would
you go and talk to Tick, and she directs you to a location in high water in the Upper Dura. And traveling
ah
up there, you are admitted to the tower and come to what looks like it's probably a private residence. It's built into the tower, so it's joined to others. Uh, but when you knock, you see the door opens, and standing there in much more casual clothing than you're used to, you see Delvius Bereth, who smiles broadly until he realizes who you are, and then the smile fades. What, what are you guys doing here over the weekend? I have your IDs, but I don't have them here. They're in my office. There's better magical wards there. Do you need them?
I mean, we're thinking about leaving.
Leaving the city or
Yeah, just the
leaving?
city for a little while.
I
leaving life.
see. I was considering what task to assign to you since you're supposed to report to me. Where would you be going?
We have
Boneyards.
need to get we have need to get to the boneyard. Um in the Talenta Plains. And it there is a bit of a time crunch
So,
for such a distance.
first, come inside. This is not the conversation to be had in a doorway.
Should we return to your office?
We may have to, but let's see if we can have a brief conversation here. If we stray into things I'm uncomfortable saying here, we may have to go somewhere more secure.
Nice place. Did you decorate it yourself?
No, my wife decorated it.
They let you have those here?
Lee looks at him very suspiciously, like he's making it up.
There is no one to tell you what the rules are except for me in this timeline. So let's start with Did you guys rob Heloise Troon?
What makes you think it was us?
Well, I got a cryptive B message
Oh yeah, yeah,
that was right after it happened, like
sure.
within hours.
Could be coincidence.
Yeah, Cryptic B. Forgot about that little guy. How is he doing?
He flew off when he was done delivering the message.
Nice.
Well, I did want you to investigate her. Did you find anything?
We did.
How?
Do you want to see him here?
No, if you have ill-gotten gains, I definitely do not want you taking them out here. Perhaps we should go to my office.
Correspondences and everything.
Fine, let's travel to my office. He goes and changes and comes back down, and you travel back to the university. Once you're in his office, he begins to speak command words again, and you watch as the wards take hold. Light fades from the window, and you hear the sound around you gets increasingly muffled. There, now no one can hear us. So I take it, since you found something, that there is some connection between Heloise Troon, this Abelard Decaneth, who, by the way, I can't find any good information about, and the bite.
There,
I made copies of all the correspondences, if you recall. I'm just gonna like give those out.
We went to the Sharon Kinko's.
So yeah, I'll read these, of course, but do you want to summarize?
uh, basically, um, well, there was a couple things. There is going to be, uh, on the way to, they're on their, shoot, I forgot his name. The dwarf,
Kaldar
the
Irvain.
Koldar Irvine, who seems to have some sort of infatuation or love, seems to be a romantic interest with Miss Troon, is on their way to the boneyard in the Talenta Plains, and they seem it's vague, but there's going to be some sort of ritual that they are conducting, and after that they plan to go to uh yeah, I think Zendrick.
No, Kubara. It's a place in
Kubara.
Kubara.
They in Kabara. I have done, my own. I do my own research, of course, and have found. And he also like puts his hand in the ground and pulls up the Angus Histarius, that there is a connection to this and the boneyard itself. That there is some that I believe that this is the a potentially the place where the uh, the dragons fought, the progenitor dragons, Kyber and Eberron.
I'm
So
not incredibly familiar with the legends of the Boneyard. I am much more familiar with the lines of magic that flow around Eberron, as I investigated that early on in my career to see if there was some pattern that could be traced back to the bite. And I know that they flow through that valley in an alarming number. And I've heard the speculation that perhaps the progenitor dragons fought there, but there's also legends that something to do about the end of the demon war occurred there, some sort of ritual that killed a number of the dragons in Coatl. So possibly a battle of some sort with the demons, but I don't know the
Yeah,
particulars.
there's some at least there's some connection to the dragons, either way. And
I'm not aware of any connection between your rod and that valley, but that's potentially interesting. Probably it would seem more interesting to you personally than related to the bite.
I mean, it is the at the moment perhaps, but if there is a connection between, you know, the significance of the valley, and there seems to be some sort of key required for the ritual. It is unclear what the key is, though, and it does not sound like they have the key. Um, but anyway, this sort of thing, this ritual seems like it at least needs to be stopped. It seems like uh, it could it could be something that would lead to the bite. Um, so we like to. Do you know of the fastest way to get across the continent?
I mean, there are
Preferably in under
many,
60 days.
well, there could be
Is
some problems with that. The fastest way to get across the continent would be to teleport, but that's prohibitively expensive. And, well, we've hit a certain new development in that people like you and me have been having problems teleporting, so that I'm not sure that that's advisable for us. The second fastest way would be by airship, but that is also incredibly expensive. I don't know anyone who has a spare airship.
hmm.
The third would be simply to travel there. Probably then the fastest possible way would be to travel across the Mournland, since that would cut the travel distance a great deal. Not necessarily the safest way, though.
I don't
Certainly
even
not.
can one even travel across the Moorland?
Yes. I mean, people travel in and out of the Mournland all the time. They just often die in the attempt. But many people go in and emerge unscathed. The Mournland isn't any more inherently deadly than the bite. It's just the things you will meet in the Mournland that might kill you, and the fact that healing magic doesn't work within the mist.
Hmm.
So
It is
between living spells and undead and other terrors that lurk in the mist, it's inadvisable to travel through it.
it seems like a non-option. Um,
I mean, I myself have asked people to venture into the Mournland. Not all of them have made it out, but some of them have. It's not clear exactly yet what its relationship is with the bite, but it seems like there must be something. So I would say
hmm.
probably the fastest way to get to the boneyard that would be accessible to us would be probably to try to get there by ship. I don't necessarily know what the fastest route would be. Some of it would have to be overland. It may be that the closest location is in Kubara, but I don't know of any ports there from which you could easily travel overland. And Kubara has its own dangers. The reptilian races of Kubara are quite hostile to people from the four nations.
Hmm. Well, that would get us closer.
How would you stop this ritual? Who's conducting the ritual? Irving?
Irvain.
And what does he
And
hope to accomplish with the ritual?
To get something, pull something out of another plane or something. Is that what it was? Some key.
Yes, that's what it was. He wanted the ritual will lead him to the key and then help him to move it fully into Eberron's plane.
Yeah, some key in another plane of existence, or split between, or something weird. And they're gonna pull it all together. Seems dangerous.
And you know this because it's in the letters from Heloise Troon.
Yeah, that she
But
was going
yes.
to be writing.
So if you stop him from conducting the ritual, what's to prevent her from sending someone else to do it? Or are you just delaying the ritual?
Wasn't there a specific timing?
He was gonna be there in like 60 something days.
I thought that there was some alignment necessary or some shit.
Yeah,
Can't remember what it was.
so there is a
I think
timing issue with he is supposed to take the key and then go to Kubara. And there's something related to specific timing on using the key in Kubara. But it wasn't necessarily clear. Some sort of planar alignment. So it's not necessarily clear that if he misses the window, it can never happen again. But, there will probably take some time before the alignment recurs.
So yeah, there there's a planar alignment aspect here that does not prevent it from never happening, but makes it you know makes it it makes it not likely to happen anytime soon.
So how would you propose to stop the ritual? Are you planning on killing your vein?
Bingo.
If we must,
Can't do it if you're dead.
But you'll have to kill his whole team too, because presumably the rest of them could do it.
Well, that's just tough break for it's so sad for them. Tough break.
it is unclear what the ritual is, but we were hoping by beating them there that we could discover more of of its nature and maybe come up with a way to stop it
Not killing them, yes.
by interfering.
Yeah, killing them. I will stop them. Works every time.
As I said, it will stop them, but it won't stop her from sending out a new expedition. How would you, so you're planning on getting there overland
I mean, if
and you would
we
like to
take the
beat
key,
him.
then they can't take it, and then we take the key and put it someplace else.
If we take the ship, we could just take a ship almost straight to the boneyard. It is a long time to be at sea, but we could theoretically sail. To
We have to.
looking at the map, we could sail to Stormwreck Bay and then travel overland from there, and like we're almost there.
Stormwreck Bay is named Stormwreck Bay for a reason. You may
I
find it is hard to get people to sail into Stormwreck Bay.
We just need to find a trusty local. Surely there's some salty sea dog that will
I think the
brave it.
locals avoid it.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's always a local that knows the way,
Mm-hmm.
that
So,
follows, that hangs all the albatrosses around everyone's neck, and then that's how they get through.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think the locals avoid it.
Surely there's some salty sea dog that will brave it. All the there's always a local that knows the way, that follows, that hangs all the albatrosses around everyone's neck, and then that's how they get through.
And you would still have to travel across part of Kubara and across Talenta Plains and into the Boneyard. So there are threats there as well. But tell me, once you get there, what will you do? Where in the Boneyard do you have to conduct this ritual? And do you have the ability to conduct the ritual?
Well, I don't know if we're not just going to try to prevent the ritual from being conducted.
So then you
Or we
can't
can
really
steal
do
the
that until he gets there. I don't have a problem necessarily with your killing someone. It's not my first preference, though. If killing someone is the only way to prevent the bite, we would do it. But we also don't necessarily know if killing someone might not cause other changes. Killing someone might be the thing that ultimately triggers the bite, for all we know. And the more changes you make to a timeline, the more likely that you'll stir up the inevitables.
Being like bringing people back to deal with it. Yeah.
Right, but it still depends on what specifically we change. As I said, if we know for certain it can prevent the bite, we absolutely would take action, even if it calls the inevitables down on our head. But it is possible that we've already tried killing him, that he dies in the boneyard at your hands in the timeline that leads to the future with the bite. It's one of the problems with what we're doing is we don't necessarily know what the outcomes of our actions will be.
well,
It's the
if
bootstrap paradox. Sometimes you create the circumstances you're trying to prevent.
if you if well, if we were to sail and found a salty sea dog that would take us into Stormrock Bay, how long would back of the napkin map, how long would it take to get there by ship?
Depends really on the ship. Different ships travel at different speeds. And frankly,
Seaworthy.
What's a
I
ship
don't
we
know.
could afford?
I also don't know if you take a ship that requires winds to move, what the winds are like between here and there. I'm not much of a sailor. I'd have to work out or find someone to work out what the travel times would be. If the winds aren't favorable, it could take a lot longer.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think we should put that one to bed. I don't think we're making that trek.
That is, it might be faster to go on the water than it would be than it would be to travel over the Mordland for sure.
Speed us up against rocks, perhaps.
When do you expect that your vein will get there?
I think 60 days, 65 days.
It is quite a distance. So
It's
it probably will take you longer than that. But I don't know much about the boneyard. Are you planning on, if you investigate the boneyard and don't find anything, like, do you know precisely where in the boneyard the ritual is supposed to occur? My understanding is it's 80, 100,000 square miles. It's some huge expanse between the two mountain ranges.
um I I think I mean it's been a few weeks since I've read the handouts, but was there wasn't there like a specific specifics around it?
Not like a location. There was a name in the letter that she mentioned called the Shattered Spine, but it didn't say where in the boneyard the Shattered Spine is. There's a cryptic reference in the Draconic Prophecy to like a circle of skulls, but not like where the circle of skulls is.
I see. Um uh we know of a place. the shattered spine, but then potentially the circle of skulls, but we're not. I mean, if it is that big, then certainly they would have to spend time to find it as well. So maybe
I mean, so
even
you would gather from the letter that she was writing to Irvain that Irvain had already discovered a place that she and he were referring to as the Shattered Spine,
oh, okay.
which might be a literal shattered spine for all we know, or it could be like a metaphorical, like outcropping of rocks or something. Who knows? But it sounds as if it's a location that Irvain knows.
A hipster bar.
Gotcha.
That'll make it easier. If it's just there's a bar in, you just have to find that one bar.
Yep.
But assuming you could find the place, what do you imagine you'll find?
Um,
Stuff.
And how do we know
a can
this
a
key is
camp.
related to? Well, but
It
you'll only
seems that
find a camp if he gets there first.
that is true. Was I don't really know what we'd find. I
And
think
what's the
it
relationship between the key and the bite?
well the in the in shoot, what was the name of the place that we were at before?
Black pit.
Black pit?
Black Pit. In Black Pit, they seem to open up a portal to Fernia. Here, the there is no connection to Dalcor, the plane of dreams, but there is in the future. It is at some point that it was connected. In the future, we have terrible dreams all the time. And we've encountered these we encountered these Dalcorians, some from Dalcor, in the streets here. I suspect, and this is a working hypothesis, but that this key is somehow related to the reintroduction of Dalcor to Eberron.
And that's related to the bite.
And that's related to the bite.
Because it did sound like what you encountered in Black Pit was in some way related to the bite, although different in its particulars.
They
But
I
that was
mean,
Abelard's research,
I think it's proof of
which
concept.
doesn't necessarily require this key.
I mean, perhaps the key is related to the magnitude. Like perhaps that was only like a local area effect. And the point is that they were able to establish a connection to a plane. And uh, if if there is if the bite is a connection to the plane of dreams, then in order to maybe they have to learn that this some key is needed in order to keep the connection open in a way that it currently isn't.
And how does this relate to the other instances of bite-like phenomenon around the world? I mean,
I do
Abelard
not.
presumably doesn't have any of his devices in Arganessen or in Zendrick or in Sarlona. And we do have some reports of things like the bite going on in each of those continents as well.
I mean, we don't necessarily know that for certain. We don't not know how far his reach travels, or if he has other teams working on behalf of him set up there. But uh, assuming that that is not the case, then that remains unexplained.
Well, I suppose it's worth it for you to go and investigate. Still uncertain whether or not this key directly relates to the bite or some other goings on with Irvain. I mean,
Well, I
he's
mean,
a bit of a treasure hunter. So this does sort of seem like it would be up his alley, but if he has some connection to Heloise Troon, and Heloise Troon has some connection to Abelard, and Abelard has some connection to the bite, it's possible that all of them are linked. It might be useful to talk to Irvain and see what
Yeah.
he knows of Abelard.
Let's see if we can find out what this key is.
Before we kill him.
Well, yeah.
If you have to kill him.
I was just
Yeah.
humoring Lee.
maybe he's just misguided, thrown off by a pretty face.
Like,
Well, maybe Heloise Troon is just misguided in assisting Abelard. Although I don't necessarily understand their relationship in its detail.
I don't know, some of the demonic iconography and the demon that we had to deal with, and what was it? The
Yeah.
bleeding stone, whatever it was.
It was
What-
Quicksilver.
Quicksilver,
What-
yeah, it kind of,
Oh yeah, we ran into a bleeding stone altar and hidden in Heloise's Troon apartment.
And a demon?
Yeah, but
What
it
does the
summoned a
bite
demon.
have to do?
Or it was
What
a
does the
stone, a
bite
statue or
or the quarry have to do with demons?
Oh, we're just saying what we ran into.
I understand. I'm just trying to put together these different threats. Usually the quarry and the demons are very different sorts of threats.
right. They may be all connected or they may not be. Oh, we just got here.
we
You've been working on this for how long now? And we just got here.
I mean, Alzen doesn't have keen mind, but he would he could try to do like a rough sketch of the demon
And it was that funky mirror.
statue we run into.
So yeah, you explain what you saw. He doesn't recognize the type of demon. I mean, it's not what he does to begin with. Or why the statue would bleed mercury. Although he imagines the mercury pouring through the stone floor probably is in some way linked to the mirror, to the operation of the mirror. The specifics of that he doesn't know from your description. So it seems as if she's some sort of demonic cultist. That happens. It's
It
unseemly.
does?
People worshiping demons? Yes. People who think the demons will grant their wishes and give them power has been known to happen. It would be put her in the disfavor of the sovereign host clerics. But other than some social opprobrium, assuming people believed she was a demon worshiper, it's not illegal per se.
Remind
I
me
wonder
again,
why you guys didn't make it.
You told us about Heloise, right? Because you wanted to know more about her, or she was a person of interest.
He thought it was useful for you to investigate her because she was connected to Abelard, and what you saw in Black Pit seems linked to the bite.
Right.
But he only knew her as like a socialite who was like fairly prominent.
I mean, yeah. What we do know is it seems like they're working together in some capacity.
Her letters also suggests not just that she is much more than a socialite, but she is uh extremely gifted and
Well,
is far more than what she appears to be.
it
More than just good
is
looks.
right. She is well known for having an ability as a scholar that seems to be beyond what you would expect from someone in her position. And I gathered that from what you told me about the help she provided to Abelard when you first arrived. So it does seem like it might be fruitful for you to go to the boneyard and investigate. I just don't know how to advise you on what to do once you get there. Whether you should try
Well,
to retrieve the key yourself, whether you should travel to Kubara and try to do whatever Irvain was going to do in Kubara,
Well,
or
I
just
think
kill Irvain and try to destroy whatever information he has to prevent someone else from following up on it, if that's possible.
I mean I have I I have business in the boneyard. I must understand more of this relic that has been bequeathed to me. And so either way, we will be going to the boneyard. It just would be in which order do we go there?
Well, we need to find out, see if we can get any idea what the key is. And if it's anything that's going to open up some sort of pointer thing, probably best that said key does not get brought on, because what's going to happen is said key is going to end up with a certain individual, and that certain individual is just going to give the key to whoever we don't want them to have, and that's how it'll go.
It'll be in the hand of demon worshippers, cultists.
I
Yeah, we
haven't
do have to be
seen,
careful here.
I have,
Look, she's not going to be there, so that will be helpful. But
Yeah,
you're right.
but
You're
a
right.
certain somebody will be there, and they'll say, "Do you have the key?" "Oh yeah, you can have it." And then there you go.
The wrong certain somebody.
Correct.
Yeah.
Pebble probably would chime in and say, yeah, we shouldn't invite that guy.
Right.
So I can allot you perhaps 5,000 more gold to try to travel there. I don't know if that will buy you passage on a boat, unless you can find a boat that's already going to Stormwreck Bay, or can travel closer and then find a boat that's going to Stormwreck Bay. There are probably boats going to New Throne, though again, I don't know the timing. I should switch to the map so that you can see.
So I look to Lee and Elzen and I'm like, so we're not gonna go with people?
Um, I don't. It seems like, I mean, if we went that, if we went with him, we might be able to gain what he knows. Obviously, and get some idea
Right.
what he's going to look for.
Probe him for
Yeah.
what he's going there for.
And
But
who the people in his crew are, if there's anybody that's not just, and they said they were picking up so and so here and so there. We might be able to gain more intel that way too. The only issue is, if Heloise Troons finds out that we're like the guards or the mercenaries going, we don't need that. So we need to keep him from telling her that.
You
I
think
mean,
she?
go ahead.
I mean, I
She-
think sh we might be cool with her right now. Our guy on the inside, I have a feeling is
I
okay.
no,
He's not
well,
revealing much.
I don't know. She's
Well-
a lot smarter than I
understand.
first thought, and I don't think she's a fool. And I mean, she could just be stringing us along to see where we go and what we get into.
And if we do go with
Well, I mean,
with
you
if we
saw
go with
the prophecy thing. We're a shoe-in for it.
Yeah, but maybe like we just
Her
found out.
interest may be with that.
Yeah, but do we want to follow the prophecy? I mean, do we want to adhere to that? Because that could be what causes the bite, as we've just found out.
Suddenly,
mean,
like
The
the
prophecy
room,
was
but we will
obviously
never know.
very vague.
so there is a flash over across the walls of the room that sort of moves
Yes.
around the room in a ripple, and then Pebble begins to vibrate just up and down in his chair. And Boreth says, someone just tried to scry on Pebble.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Can you hear me? Yeah,
Yep.
there we go.
Okay, on that note,
That's so if we go with I guess either way, if we go with the caravan and we go or we go with if we go with the caravan, Heloise definitely knows where we're going and we'll be able to keep tabs directly. If we find our own passage there, then we can have plausible deniability as to the nature of where we're heading, but she probably would assume that if we're heading in the same direction, that maybe that we're trying to act. So it
If she
seems like either way she would have hooks, or at least have some idea of what we're planning, or at least that
well,
we're planning on interfering.
if she has the ability to scry, which is a fairly sophisticated magical technique, then and if she's so inclined, I imagine, no offense, Pebble, it's probably relatively easy to scry on Pebble. So she may be able to discern where it is you're going. It might be difficult on one viewing to figure out just from the fact that you're traveling where you're headed to. But at some point, she may begin to recognize the terrain of where you are. At that point, if she doesn't know that you were involved in the robbery, once she realizes that you're independently going to the boneyard, she'll probably have certainty that you must have been involved in the robbery, since the boneyard is not a place commonly discussed, fairly obscure area of the continent.
Unless we go with people.
Even then, she might guess.
it's suspect about that.
We literally met the guy. He said he was about to offer us the job anyways.
You could be right. I mean, you have to explain to him, obviously, who Peeble is and what you were talking about with the caravan, but
Where's-
assuming he's been filled in about that.
Yeah. I mentioned it a couple times, I think. Maybe not.
Where's
But
the
not,
guy
not,
that
not
In
Peeble
my
or the
mind.
caravan. Yeah. Sorry, where's what guy?
where's the guy that bought the key? Where is he located?
He is in Karnath. So he is specifically in Korth, in Karnath.
Where is that on the map? Okay. Big. Okay. Yeah. With the big K. Yeah. Okay.
Who's there again? Sorry.
That's Koldar
Korth.
Irvine, or at least,
Okay.
yeah, that is where, at least where the letter she was writing was initially addressed. So,
Addressed
he
to be
has,
delivered to.
yes. So he also can travel in part by lightning rail a good portion of the way, and then has a much shorter distance to travel overland to get to the boneyard.
How about this? Well, I don't know. What's the fastest way to get to him? Is it lightning rail? I don't know.
So once he like reads through the letters, he'll realize you probably can't get to Korth before that guy's going to leave to get
Okay.
to the boneyard.
Well, F. Okay. And the boneyard is
So yeah,
Talentopin.
I mean, Dustin is right that the absolute fastest way, assuming the winds all work out, would be to sail into Stormwreck Bay. And assuming there is no wreck in the storms in Stormwreck Bay, you would then travel overland. That does require you to, not to get lost, and you're traveling over fairly rough and hostile territory because Kubara's not the safest of places. But that's like the shortest overland distance. There is, of course, a reason why the caravan's not taking that route because it's not safe. But shortest possible time if you're not taking an airship. And if you can find someone you can charter for like the 5,000 gold he's willing to spare for this.
We may have come in with some money, so. Um,
Yeah, can you sell these?
uh, maybe we can cut him off. Yeah, but we don't know who we're looking for, what he looks like.
Yeah.
That would be the problem. We might be able to get to Volinar or whatever that place is.
Valinor.
I'm assuming the red is lightning rail, is that right? Or no?
No, the yellow is lightning rail. The red
Okay.
are just roads.
That's a fail. Okay. Where the F is the yellow?
So the yellow goes from like Korth up north and around down into Gatherhold.
I don't see any yellow on this.
It's like an orange.
It's orange. Okay, good, good. I was like, wow, I'm getting colorblind my old age too. That's nice.
The legend
Uh,
is down on the bottom.
oh, is that on the bottom? Okay, gotcha. Uh, oh, oh wait, there's a volcano? That's what we got to get the key and throw it in the volcano. That's what. There we go.
Yeah, into the Fist of Onatar. Yeah. It's not that far
That
Well, maybe it's him. Maybe he's the key. We got to throw him in there. Let's see.
surely there's just like, you just walk up to the lip of the volcano and there's like a pool of lava.
Yep.
Just throw
Yeah.
it into.
Yep.
Like I see on the TV.
Right.
Yep. Got your ticket? No. Get back. Get your ticket before you can do. Let's see. Where are we? We're in. Um, Sharn. We could take a lightning wheel all the way up to. Oh well, that sucks. You can't.
Right. The Mournland is what causes
Yeah.
problems because you have to go around the Mournland unless you want to walk through it. And so like part of the problem of taking the lightning rail up and around to get to Korth, to get like but to go around the Mournland by lightning rail is that he would still beat you there because
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
leaving from
Oh yeah.
Korth and you're leaving from
Absolutely.
Sharn.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see that. Okay.
So if you can't take an airship and that's just prohibitively expensive unless you had already owned one, uh it's some combination of sea travel and
Yeah.
land travel.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe we'll be lucky, and this process that he has to go through is months long.
I mean, it
Well,
could.
he's expecting it's still going to take him like the better part of like a month and a half to get there, even
Yeah.
from where he is. It's just going to
At that
take,
point, we'll be halfway there.
right. You'll probably be somewhere in like the Blade Desert on your way there when he arrives. According to Peeble, he's going to arrive like a week or two before you. Which is why if you can sail all the way around Kubara, you might be able to beat him there. Though there's the question of what would that mean? Like, would you know where in the boneyard to go?
Hmm.
How easily could you find him?
I mean,
It
we
is
have
possible
eyes.
that Peeble knows where in the boneyard he's supposed to go. You didn't get into that much detail.
Hmm.
You also don't know, you know that Heloise Troon wants him to deliver some stuff, but you don't know what stuff.
Yeah.
But she mentions in her letter that she'd be sending operatives with things for
Yeah.
Koldar, and that's probably this caravan.
I mean, yeah, that puts us with the operatives, whatever they're going to be doing. But I mean, if we want to go the route of complete surprise, then we have to do the Stormwreck Bay option.
Hmm. It. I mean, no, neither as a complete surprise.
We're assuming she's the one
S-
that's spying on us, on Pebble as well.
Right. That is the assumption, but
For all we know,
sure could be someone else.
it's our person on the
unless there was
inside that's scrying.
unless there is some
He-
sort of way that we can protect Pebble from being scried upon.
That we would need. That would be great, actually.
I mean, she could then, if she doesn't have him as a target, if she were to realize like you put non-detection spell on him, which is a little bit expensive, but would work.
10,000.
She could switch her targets and spy on one of the others of you.
Yeah.
You might be more likely to make your save than him, although it's a wisdom save. So he's not necessarily terrible at those.
Yeah.
Better than I am, probably. I mean, over time he will be at least.
Right. I mean, there will be a limit to the number, however rich she is, a limit to the number of times per day she can do that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
probably like once a day she could do it. You know she has a giant silver mirror to work
Yeah.
with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would definitely
Well, how about
ask the
what about
go ahead.
this? Is there a way to detect being scried upon? Could we put that on an item? That Pebble can carry around.
There once upon a time in second edition there was a spell to detect scrying, but that's not a spell currently.
Well, how do
Well,
we do it in your house?
Well, so really what it did was it blocked. He essentially has non-detection up around the room.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was that ward triggering against the spell being cast. So
I
yeah,
see.
not completely impossible, but like this is a special case of he's built it into the room.
too bad there wasn't
Hi,
like a. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say maybe if you hire a sufficiently skilled artificer,
We
but it's
we
not
just
that would
met a
not
guy
be
too.
yeah, you just killed a guy. Damn it.
He didn't seem too cooperative.
Right. He was working for the wrong person, but
Yeah. Too bad there wasn't a magic item that was, in essence, like a lightning rod. So when the scrying you get hit with the scrying, it goes to the magic item and either shows them some sort of illusion or something each time. And maybe has so many charges, and then that's how you know you've been scryed upon because it has so many charges.
I mean, not impossible that you could design a magic item that either detects scrying or even enables you to grant some sort of false vision back. Not a standard magic item, though.
Correct, yeah. I mean, we can do some magical research, sure. We got time. We'll do that. We'll do that. The next group that shows up,
Yes.
they'll be able to use that. They'll have it. They'll have it ready.
Lee's
They'll be-
new Lee's new mission is he's just going to grow into his old age researching that magic item.
Yep. Oh, we'll definitely ask
So-
Professor. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ask the Professor if he has seen any of the buildings where all the doors have been blocked up, and explain to him about Elzen dealing with seeing two mouths. We're going to go through all this, so maybe he could give us some insight on what was going on.
Sounds like he had a concussion.
Um,
I don't know.
We all didn't see the doors.
I'm not sure why you saw a bunch of doors blocked up. I certainly didn't notice anything like that last night, but I would have been asleep. And it might have been a local phenomenon. Though why would it happen around you guys?
I mean, we could have just been in something, but I don't know. It was peculiar.
But it's not a phenomenon I've ever heard of.
okay.
And it doesn't seem like it's hurt you. Seems inconvenient.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
it seemed like it was definitely like a residue of the creatures we encountered. I mean, I still feel awful. Like I'm
I
struggling
wonder
to stay awake.
why
And
the creatures would have blocked doorways from you.
We didn't see the creatures. Only he did. But we all didn't see doors. And I asked a guy on the street, too.
Well, if the worst of your enemies only stop you from entering doors, you're probably pretty lucky. But in any event, since you're here and he reaches down under his desk and you hear
Uh-oh.
wheels spinning as he unlocks his safe.
Oh.
And
Thought he was gonna reveal he's a doppelganger and he's really Eloise True.
I've been Eloise True the whole time.
Yeah.
God
Welcome.
damn it. Do it.
So do you think as he's going through the safe, do you think it would be worth it to have other people keep tabs on Heloise Troon while you're traveling?
I mean, I would absolutely try to keep tabs on what she does, but you don't want them caught and you don't want them to interact with her because she seems to have an effect on people. She probably has some sort of ability to charm them or at least put them in a very favorable, make them very favorable to her. So,
He looks up over his desk again and says, "Did she do that to any of you that you know of?"
no, but everyone who we have interacted with that consistently works with her is just beyond infatuated with her.
Completely smitten in all of these letters.
The letters and like her household staff.
And listen, I get it. She's gorgeous and she's smart. You know,
and she's a
that's tough
cultist, so I mean, she's got the trifecta.
And rich. She's exceptionally rich.
She's quite
Though
rich.
that does raise the question of why she isn't funding Abelard's research. and why he has to deal with Deleuze de Kundarak.
Transparency? I don't know.
I don't know
Why
either.
fund it yourself when you can get somebody else to do it?
I'm curious that she put you in touch with Peeble, at least if she thinks you robbed her. But in any event, I did go ahead and prepare your identity papers for you, which will be useful if you want to ride the lightning rails or anything of that sort. A lot of any of the House Galandra inns will also ask for your papers if you try to stay there. Not the Watchman's Rest, of course, but that's because of my personal relationship with Tick.
Love Tick.
And
Tick's the best.
he slides packages across. He slides 2 over to Elzen.
Ah, what is this?
One is the identity papers for Andon Tenwater, and the other is for Elzen de Galandra, in case anyone ever notices your mark.
Ah, good call. I guess this makes me officially in this timeline now.
Well, I don't have your name officially in the House Register in Gatherhold. I'm working on that, but that will take some time, and frankly, I haven't figured out how to do it yet. Nonetheless, if people notice your mark, they're going to wonder who you really are, and they're not going to be able to check the records in Gatherhold easily either. But it would be easy enough for you to say that you've been traveling under a false name because you didn't want people to know you were a member of the house.
That is fair. It's good to keep in mind.
And you can keep the Galandra identity papers hidden, I assume, as with your other things.
Yes.
So I can't provide you with letters of credit for the extra 5,000 gold today, but I can tomorrow when the Dekundarak banks are open again. At that point, you should be able to see if you need to book your own passage.
Hmm.
And by tomorrow, I should have been able to read through this correspondence so that if I have further questions or thoughts, I may be able to raise them with you then. So if you come back tomorrow, we can continue this conversation.
Very well. I guess we need to figure out whether we want to go
Yeah.
the Peeble route or our own.
People are really hoping to know within 24 hours.
I mean, if we go with Peeble, then we're getting paid to go.
Quite true.
Yeah.
And we're not spending.
That's another thing. How much is a going rate for caravan escorts to dangerous locations? Do you know?
It's not my area of expertise, but people who go, to some extent, it depends on your credentials. House Beneath would probably charge about 5 gold pieces a day. So it depends on the length of the trek.
That's what, 150 gold a month then? Per person?
Roughly per person.
Got it. Well, we want to undercut.
If Heloise Troon is financing this, I wouldn't imagine Peeble is necessarily cost sensitive.
Indeed.
Though you should check with him if you want him to hide the fact that he's hiring you to be his mercenaries. Although if she's also scrying on Pebble, he'll probably figure it out pretty fast.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think unless there was a way to generally protect all of us from scrying, we should assume that she's going to know or at least piece together our plan at
Right,
some point.
if it's her scrying and not
If
someone
it's
else.
And if it is, who is?
I
I
wouldn't
would
put it
guess
past
that's the
Sabius Vereen either.
Sabius isn't even in town.
I don't know that that would stop him necessarily. He wouldn't be doing it himself, I wouldn't think. He may
Well,
have been spying on you for a while since you first started dealing with him. In fact, it would be odd that he wasn't spying on you because that is what he does for a living. I don't know if he uses scrying or more conventional spies,
Hmm.
but you made some sort of arrangement with him, and he would want to keep tabs on you almost certainly.
We
I
should just
take it you
ask him
haven't
next time.
noticed anyone following you, but they would be bad spies if you did.
Maybe he has a way to get us to the boneyard.
you think his
Well,
sphere of influence is that big?
I would say he almost certainly has the ability to commandeer an airship. That would be a big ask for him. And so I don't know if he would be willing to commandeer an airship to get you to the boneyard based on the information you've given to me. And I don't know whether, because he doesn't know about the bite, I hope. He looks at Peeble. But but his his primary goal is always about the advancements of the interests of Breland, not necessarily the goings on of a demon cultist like Heloise Troon. But if you could convince him it was in Breland's best interest, it would have to be a very good argument, though, as, like I said, it would be a big ask even for him to retask an airship. And you'd probably have to come up with some better explanation for what you would do once you got there early. Since it doesn't sound like you know exactly where to go within the area.
And we'd have to wait for him to get back in town.
He'd also, if you mentioned the key to him, want the key for himself.
For sure.
Maybe the best option, and probably the option that Pebble, who's asleep, would choose, uh, is to just go with Pebble or Peeble. Because at least then we know we're being taken to the place directly. We don't.
It'll give us a chance because she said that she would send operatives. For all we know, the wording is, well, it's got a different connotation than just I'm going to send a group of
Right. I don't actually think she used the word operatives in the letter. I think that was the word that popped into my mind here.
yeah, I
I
guess
think,
we
think
should
she
double check
maybe, yeah.
that.
I
true.
think she
Maybe
just,
that's not
she,
true.
yeah, she just said she was sending people to meet him and that they would have materials he could use to help him locate and retrieve the key.
Okay. So yeah, so he won't be able to do what he's doing before we get there, anyways. We're assuming, of course, this Peeble expedition is the thing that she's sending to him.
Well, she's right. So you just got the letter like the night before, basically. And so, and it hadn't been sent yet. She was still writing it.
Yeah.
So she expects, she's probably not like mailing it. She's probably having it magically sent to begin with. But, it'll get to Korth. And he's probably still in Korth right now for the moment.
Hmm. I mean, I guess I don't know. What's the magical letter delivery time?
I mean, that could be, depending on how she wants to send it, um, that can be nearly instantaneous with how Civ is. It's
Okay.
just a question of if she wants to physically mail the letter, that will take some time for Civis to get it there. If she just wants to send the information, kept confidential under Civis's normal confidentiality rules, that can be instantaneous. She could get that to Korth immediately.
Okay.
But otherwise, if she's physically mailing the letter, that has to go by lightning rail. So that would take several days because it would have to go up through Aundair slash Thrain, then through Karnath into over to Korth.
If we left at the same time, what's the timing on like us getting there and him receiving the message, and if assuming he leaves right away, him then making it there? What will we
So
guess?
from the letter you
Could we
would
guess?
gather from the letter you would gather she said he'd be leaving in a couple of days. So the letter looked like it was nearly complete, but it did just sort of abruptly end. So you would imagine she probably wasn't physically mailing the letter.
Okay.
Hmm.
So it was probably going to be transmitted by speaker post by House Civis, which is essentially just long form sending.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes sense. She just wrote it down so she could convey it.
Right. She has to give them something in writing for them to convey.
I hate to say it, but I think our best option is just to go with people. We can get paid.
We will
I
learn.
We
think it's
can
I think
learn.
it is at least worth inquiring about getting a ship to go to Stormwreck Bay. I mean, if your goal is to get there fast, it's worth asking around. Someone on the docks more expert in the sailing schedules than I am would be able to advise you on that.
We can ask them tomorrow morning or today when they're open. But just to see what the options are. I suppose.
If you go to the House Lyrandar outpost on the docks, they should be able to help you plan out a route to get there. I don't know how discreet that will be because you'll have to tell them where you're going. But they definitely have wind charts and navigational charts that will allow them to give you a more specific timeline. They might try to gouge you on the price, though. And they absolutely will try to convince you to go through House Lyrandar routes.
Oh, of course.
So they may not actually give you the fastest possible time because they'll be quoting House Lyrandar times. I mean, if you hired an elemental galleon, that would probably cost more than 5,000 gold. Then I'm sure you could get there faster. Well, if they're willing to risk sending an elemental galleon into Stormwreck Bay.
How
But
does
yeah, I would check there first just because I know they have complete charts and know the weather around the coastlines.
how does the message from House Civis work? So Heloise tuned what? So well, it doesn't have to be her, but you take what, a message to them and you have it written down and they dictate it into a machine and it travels magically to another House Civis or something.
Yeah, it's not it's a magical conveyance rather than a machine, but essentially, yes, they have speaker stones. They would convey it from themselves to a House Civis speaker stone in Korth
Okay.
that would essentially instantaneously transmit their words to House Civis in Korth, who would then retranscribe the message and take it over to the Wayfinders.
So so what would stop us from going to House Civis a day later, conveying a message to that dude and say, plans have changed, stay in blah 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 wherever he's at for another couple months.
I mean, nothing would prevent that. I don't, that might then allow you to travel to Korth. Whether or not he would listen to that, you don't necessarily know. Like
Okay.
he doesn't work for Heloise Troon, as far as you
Right.
know.
Well, I was just wondering how that worked. Okay.
No, you absolutely could send a second message. Now, House Civis almost certainly would tell you no when you want to sign the letter Heloise Troon, because House Civis has ethical standards.
Okay, so there is a way to confirm who sent, like okay.
So a lot of it does rely on the trustworthiness of House Civis. Like there are certain things House Civis won't do. If you tell them the letter is confidential, you can be 100% sure they are not going to voluntarily break your confidentiality. I mean, you
Okay, okay.
pay them for it, but they also like won't lie about who sent a letter because like this is their reputation is on the line. So, you know, they're sticklers for following their rules.
Okay,
Now, you
okay.
could torture the guy to send a letter
No,
with a false name
no,
on it.
I'm not, I was just curious how that worked.
Right? But yeah, a lot of it is relying on the good name of House Civis, which they
Right,
take super seriously.
right, because if it didn't, if there's something like that happened, they would be screwed. Yeah,
So all of the loopholes that introduces, that is how it's actually done.
okay.
Right. The other problem being is like a lot with like the Lyrandar airships, you have to have the Lyrandar mark in order to properly control the things, at least for long periods. In the same way, these speaker stones can only be used by somebody with a House Civis mark. So another control on it is you could be 100% sure at least somebody with the mark sent the message.
Or we could just say it's from Peeble after he leaves, because it'd be a hell of a time for him to confirm it and say that we are working with Peeble, signed so and so. I mean, you know, tell him to
Right.
stay there. And then if he tried to confirm whether somebody associated with Peeble sent it, Peeble would be on the move.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you could also there, like I said, it's with all of the loopholes that introduces. Like you could try to physically transform yourself to look like Heloise Troon and go in. Now, are they going to ask for her identity papers? Probably.
You
Then,
don't need no papers.
right. Then maybe you have to actually charm the guy. So false messages can be sent, but then you probably have to kill the guy because like when he realizes he's been charmed, he'll probably transmit a message saying to disregard the earlier message. So yeah, I mean, it is possible to forge these things, but there could be complications. So that is another potential option for throwing a wrench into whatever Heloise's plans are.
Hell of a track.
Yeah, I think it's
So I
something
mean
we'll,
that is why people expect it to take like 2 months to get there because there is a lot of overland travel, and part of that is through this desert. So that is where we can wrap it up.
Sounds
So we don't
good.
so we don't lose
Right.
Dustin. You can think about a bit more
Yeah.
how it is you want to get there for next time. Well, we won't meet Tuesday since Dustin won't be around anyway. But we're probably then not going to be playing until 2 weeks from this upcoming Tuesday.
Maybe
Since
we could do, maybe we could try to like decide a path over email
Yeah, definitely.
right,
so that like you can have the benefit of
Yeah.
being able to prep a path instead of like four paths.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, if we go through Peeble's route, then he's already got one planned. He's got his trip planned. We don't
Right.
have to do nothing. We just got to follow along.
Right. Yeah, but
Yeah.
if it's like 60 days worth, what's that? 180 random encounter checks? I mean, that's what,
right.
3 a day?
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll
But
pre-roll all that.
Right, yeah, you can do that. Oh yeah.
Right. Or I'll just bust open the DMG and use the random encounter tables and see what happens.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it would be good. It would be good to know what path you
Ma-
guys think you want to take. Also, I mean, if you
what
want
if
to
we
go, if
convinced people to go through the Mournlands?
so, I would say this just to save a little time. He would definitely say no to that. Like, he's a squishy academic.
Mhm,
Like,
Yeah.
he's not, hey, let's trek through the Moorlands because, like, one living spell could easily kill his whole team.
Yeah.
mhm.
Heloise Troon. So yeah, like some things that he's definitely going to notice is that Heloise Troon has this hobgoblin operative who does go into the Mournlands and like look for things for her. But you know, hobgoblins are usually pretty martial, so somewhat hardier than this academic group. But also, she has operatives in Sarlona who've encountered something very much like the bite. So he is
Mhm.
aware that there have been bite-like things that have occurred in Sarlona, but this is a new occurrence of it for him. So he will have some follow-up once he's had a chance to actually read through these letters. Uh, but yeah, getting the academics to go through the Mournlands would be hard.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Also, I intend for there to be, you'll have to make some checks to see if you can actually charter a ship to go through the Tempest Strait up into Stormwreck Bay through the, moorings of disaster that you this happens to be the shortest route. Since anybody who goes that way could wind up losing their whole ship.
We just need to find a Willem Dafoe.
I prefer a Willem to friend.
Uh,
But, if you pass your checks, it is possible you could get somebody to do that. It would be interesting for you to go and talk to Sabius Vereen about it because his interests are just very different than yours. He absolutely will say you can go and get the key, but he's going to want to send his own people with you so that he can be sure he gets the key. And in fact, if you give him too much information, he'd be like, "That's a good plan. I'm just going to send people on an airship, but you guys can stay here."
and
Yeah, I
he's
guess
the one that started the whole thing. It was actually him.
Right. Well, that is another thing that Professor Bareth would point out that if he gets the key, then he could be the one who actually launched the bite.
yeah, it doesn't seem worth looping him in. Like I don't know what we would
Yeah.
get out of it.
Yeah.
Right. And even if he charters an airship and lets you get on board it, you would have to keep the pilot alive because you need a Lyrindar person to guide the ship, at least long term. For short periods, somebody else could guide the ship, but eventually the air elemental or fire elemental, depending on the ship that's powering it, will require an actual Lyrindar marked person to fly it,
Hmm.
or else you'll lose control of the elemental.
Yeah.
So that is a harder route. So, but something to think about.
Yep. Sounds good.
All right,
Thanks for
thanks
running,
for
Kurt.
playing.
All right.
Yeah.
Get some sleep.
Yeah. Well, too. I'll see y'all later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.